What is up, everybody? Alright, it's time to finish up Solomon. Also, Armored Core music always sounds distorted, that's like the thing. Anyway, so yeah, we'll fuck around with Guadia a little bit more, because there's a couple of units we wanted to give a better shake that we couldn't. But I figure if I wait around until I find a Hot Wheels at Bon 10 and all those things, we're gonna be stuck here forever. So I figure we'll just move on, because there's other things I want to do on this account. And I'll just make a new account for nothing but Guadia. And I won't level up anything. Like, literally, I'll just get carried by support for the whole fucking story. I'm trying to think, is there any... Do you ever need your own units for 1.0? I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure you can get support carried for pretty much everything. I basically will need to level Medusa's first skill, and like, that's it. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm forgetting something. So, I think we'll be fine. Turned 22 2 days ago and I drink. You know what's funny is I like never drink alcohol. Like, I've been old enough for a while and I never do that. But no, I'm not really feeling any better. If anything, I'm feeling worse today than I did yesterday. I still having breathing problems, but it is what it is. Alrighty, let's see. Well, I really wanted to test Hercules in the front. So, well, oh yeah, we said we'd use Rex. What did, I'm not sure what Rex, was Rex wanting us to use Nobu? Was that what it was? We can do that. And we'll do Nobu, we'll, do Herc again. Does anybody care? Like, do I need to beat this legit again, or are we good? Because we already did that, right? Like, the first thing I did on this account was I did the whole Asterios, Ushi, Hans setup, so I don't think we really need to do that again. I find it funny though. I to this day, I literally over the last like 3 days have had 4 or 5 comments on that setup. People saying like that setup doesn't work when it does. I've done that setup so many times. I did it on NA. I've done it like 12 times on JP. I literally did it on stream, like 2 days ago. And I streamed it before too. I think on the 1 to 3 star account. Yeah, we did that. We literally did that shit with 3-star CEs, right? We did like ley line and that garbage, and we beat it no problem too. Like, that setup works amazingly well. It's just a matter of playing it right. I think a lot of people don't understand that you need to front load the value, because like once the ball gets rolling, you don't need evade and stuff anymore. I think we're still waiting on Nobu. Hey, Professor, thank you for the 25-month free sub, dude. But you're not putting it in the right slot. It's friend biasm right there. I guess we'll do no stun, because I mean Berserker, like Herc and stuff, did it with no stun, so... Anniversary Blonde, I would think. Still not 10, by the way. That's loud. You know what's funny is this is like the big fight, but at this point in the story, it's over, right? Like, Solomon ends the problem, right? This fight at this point is just Guadia's mad, and we're mad because he shot Mash in the face, right? That's pretty much all that's happening at this point in the story. But yeah, like, the whole climax is really just with Solomon. Like, Solomon ends Guadia, pretty much. Yeah, I'd have to. That's the one thing I'd have to do on that account is get Anniversary Blonde leveled, but that wouldn't really be too bad if I wasn't worrying about anything else. It's easy to get default leveled, because like basically as you work through the story, you'll get default to 10, no problem. But you run out of gas before 1.0 is over to get Anniversary Blonde up, unless you're doing side events. But you know, this account has done 2 events ever, so... I mean, even the Human King, Guadia, you know, the thread is over at that point. You know, the thread is over as soon as Solomon uses his, NP. It's more of a personal matter from that point on. And as for, like, difficulty, like, Demon Guadia is harder for people that don't know what the fuck is going on, just because of, like, his initial gimmick and all that. But for newbie accounts that aren't getting carried, they're like, you're not summoning a Bon Tin Herc or some shit like that. I think Human Guadia is absolutely harder. And I've seen that a million times when I watch new players streaming and they get to this. Overwhelmingly, it's like, a big part of it is also, it's very easy to get carried for Demon Guadia. It's actually harder to get carried for Human Guadia. You need to stand on your own a bit more. And a lot of people get here and they're just in shame. I can't tell you how many people I've watched stream FGO that are newer to the game, and by the time they get to Guadia, because they've been getting carried the whole time, they don't have David, they don't have Hans, they don't have George, they don't have Ushi, they don't have like any of the staples, right? So they get to Human Guadia, and nothing on their friends list is that great for carrying there, and they have a hard time. I see that a lot. It's what Rex just said. King of Humans isn't weak to half the game. That's the thing. It's like, there are plenty of units that can, you know, solo or, you know, carry you through Human Guadia, but there's not nearly as many as can carry you through Demon Guadia, just because of the gimmick. Alright, let's see. We have 14,000 health. He can one-shot us very easily, so I'm just gonna do that. Kind of a bad time to do the Buster. You know what? I think what I should have done was just done Guts first. That way I could save the Buster. So, I think we focus on NP gain, because we can't crit. If we could crit, I'd do the Buster chain, but, Ushi is just a really good unit to level in general. Let's be real, Gwen is harder than, for most players, for like a typical player, Gwen is harder than both forms of Guadia. So we got our NP, but, he's still... Yeah, the way she is, because her survivability is so limited, she needs the stun, I think. She needs to be able to NP here and do Buster and then hope we get another NP, right? Like, that's... If you don't have the stun, I don't think there's really... Unless you get lucky and he doesn't one-turn you. Unless we fucking one-shot him. That Goomba, though. So I should not have focused on NP gain last turn. I should have just Buster. I hate that we have the attack down, but what are you gonna do? So the crit up command code is on the one Buster that doesn't have good crit chance. Oh, good Beastly Seer, we can do Herc. Yeah, I want to do Herc in the front row. No help like at all. That's good damage though. I mean, just like that, she got it that low. She can solo this, you just need to stun. If we did the stun thing, she would have soloed this. Like, we could have NP'd twice, for sure. And that would win. But yeah, without the stun, I don't think so. See, cavalry classes can afford the no stun a lot better because they're tankier, so they can weather that one turn, right? where knight classes and berserkers and stuff, that's a lot more difficult. Unless you're, you know, like Kualter or Hercules or something like that. I mean, if we do it again, we're just gonna die again unless we did the stun, so... And it's pretty obvious she can win with the stun. Okay, so no help, with as little help as humanly possible. What's the least helpful servant I could bring? I guess Buster Dex. That would not be very helpful. There we go. And no CEs. You know, you actually might be able to do this if she's super maxed out. Like, you joke, but I mean, if Sanson can do this, I think you might be able to do this. When we make that Guadia account, we'll test that then. And then by then, you know, hopefully we have a better Hot Wheels to work with. There's no rush though, because we'll have that account around forever. So if, you know, that's kind of why I'm like, yeah, it's kind of better to just move on and we can revisit this with that account. Because then anytime someone gets someone to bond 10, we can experiment with it. Oh look, we got a good opening hand. How about that? Honestly, if I no-lifed it, I could get to Guadia in like a day, but that wouldn't be wise. Like and I need to, you know, take care of things in real life too. So, but yeah, if you like super no-life it, you can get to Guadia pretty quick. Even if you don't grind at all, right? You just get carried by support. You can get there pretty fast. Because I'm pretty sure I have units on my main account that could solo every single stage in 1.0, so I can get through pretty much everything. Oh, well, I gotta say, that's bad luck. If Herc can beat this, it's gonna be impressive. This is pretty much as bad as it gets at the start here. We're starting with the Buster down, and that's a big as fuck Buster down, so it's pretty rough. And we don't have particularly good command codes, so if we win this, that's gonna be really impressive. And I think he might. It's gonna be tough, though. Because starting in the front row is bad for a lot of reasons, and also, you know, he NPs right away, so you don't get like the normal attacks and that kind of thing, so it puts you a good bit behind. But Herc won so hard last time, I have faith. Okay. You know, I wonder if I should have done Atlas there. I don't know why I didn't, to be honest, because... Well, we could get Buster down again on a turn where we happen to have our NP, and that would be worse, I guess. But that might not happen either, so I guess we'll see. I don't know if I'll make an NA one because it's just a lot of work. Like, I mean, it'd be nice because most of my viewers are in NA, so maybe eventually, but I have to. It's hard to manage that many accounts. Even if you're not playing them, you have to have a device to put them on, right? So, is rough. I have to, like, buy another phone. If I get another attack down, I think we clear. I'll probably wait for the NP and see if we get Buster down again. But yeah, it's like, even though I don't play NA a lot, most of my viewers do, so for showing viewers stuff off, it is nice to be on NA. But I'm not doing that. I'll say it, put it this way, that might happen at some point. I'm not going to work on that right now, though, because I just don't really have the means, and there's just a lot of problems. But at some point, that might happen. Yeah, I'm not swapping my account around every day. That's not going to happen, especially when I already have so many accounts. That's a disaster waiting to happen. That's just plain stupid. Did we guard it? What? I don't think one attack down is enough for me to want to clear yet, so I'll wait. Like, we have to get attacked down again at some point. Although, I guess it's because he's only attacking once per turn. He's not getting the opportunity to apply that many debuffs. At this point, I should have just removed it, because its attack down is lasted its full duration, which is not ideal. I think we're gonna win, because we still got invulnerability, and we have so much buster up. Man, this is with, like, you know, it said pretty minimal command codes that didn't really do anything, because we never crit much. Yep, there he goes. Alright, chat, do we want to see anybody else, or do we want to move on? Like I said, it's not like Guadia's gone forever. We're going to make that other account and we'll have him back. Man, we still had room left. We did Billy yesterday, and he did well. Like, he made it over halfway, so he would have won as a cavalry class. If someone's got a Shiki, I'll use it, but did Luvia win? I don't remember. Did we ever use Luvia? I don't remember. I think she had survivability problems off the top of my head. We tried the twins, they got fucking destroyed. I mean, I do Ushi if we have one. That's the thing, is you kind of have to have access to it. Like, there's no point in recommending something if you don't have it, because, like, how else am I gonna... You know, I can't materialize one out of nowhere. Because, yeah, one problem with the Wonder Twins, though, is the fact that their whole gimmick is that they loop their NP, but in this boss fight, everyone can loop their NP, so they don't really get an edge. We could try Donzo. But yeah, I don't think we have, a lot of stuff chat's recommending I don't think we have available. Because that's the thing, a lot of people can solo it, but they need very specific things, right? Like, you know, they gotta be 110, they gotta be 10 to 10, a lot of times they need to be Grailed, you know, and that stuff is just not common, so. I was really happy Kojiro soloed this, though. That was really cool. He did it pretty smoothly, too, honestly. I tell you what, once we get back to Guadia, I need to record that. If I had access to a Kojiro that was set up like that one that I could use whenever I wanted, I would have already recorded that. Because I actually think it's really cool that Kojiro soloed that, because he's a 1-star, so. We'll save Canis, I think, for when we get back to Guadia, because when we get back to Guadia on that new account, we'll have Bond 10 and all that, and we can give her a better run. Ilya can probably do it. I would think Ilya would be able to win. Alright, she's so bad. Even though she's a goddamn cavalry class, I think we give her the stun, because she's just that weak. Oh, did we not have CCs yet? I didn't look. Whoops. I actually feel kind of worse today, but I'm not much different. There's no reason to do the combo that way. I don't know why I did, but it doesn't really matter. Few misplays there. Guidia does not have magic resistance. Yeah, I'll try to get back to Guidia as soon as possible. It's so boring playing through the story if you're getting carried. Like, honestly, it's a fun time when you're actually playing for real, but oh my god, when you're just getting carried, it's such a chore. I don't think I'll stream it until I get to Camelot. When I get to Camelot, I think it'd be kind of fun just showing off getting, carried literally every stage, picking someone to solo every boss. I think that'd be kind of fun. But, but everything before that, there's no point in streaming. Dude, I've heard that for some reason, and I've tested this a little bit, command codes update so rapidly. You don't even have to like reset. I don't understand it. I've seen it myself when I'm like messing around on my ult account. Hey Renwick, what's up, man? Thank you for the 500 bits, dude. Haven't seen it in a while. I appreciate it. But yeah, I've seen that. Like, I'll switch command codes and I won't even refresh, and they update. It's weird. But like CEs and stuff, they don't do that at all. Frickin' attack down. I'm gonna try to wait to use evade because of quick charge. The quicks have the better crit chance, but we'll go for mad deeps. Yeah, NA stun is bugged. And it's been bugged for like a year. Actually, I think it might have been bugged longer than that. You're quick! You're quick! It's not enough though. She's having a rough time, but I'm not surprised. She's AoE. She is the proper class, but she's AoE and she's not even good. That's the thing. Like I've beaten this with some AoE people, but they're good generally. Or they just have high numbers. That's the main thing, is you just need numbers. Like, a lot of units can, win in 2 NPs, right? If they got Black Grail, Limit Broken, all that nonsense, you could win in 2 NPs. Although I guess we don't have a Limit Broken Black Grail, so we're slightly handicapped, but she's not winning in 2 NPs. She's also really struggling to get her NP again because bad RNG. Like, holy shit. Hey, Fury. She's also been missing a lot of crits. Actually, this went so badly, and there's so much room for good things to happen. I think she could probably solo this with luck, and especially if you had an MLB, like Black Grail, because we could have NP'd like 3 times by now if we'd gotten luckier. Did I ever try this with Mordred? Because I know she's not gonna win because she's a 9th class and she's AoE, but I would kind of like to see how far she gets in comparison to like Billy and Robin and everything. If she can make it to half, I'll be really happy. I think she might be able to do that. Yeah, I actually think Gonzo could probably do this if things went better. I don't think she'd have a great win rate, but if you had MLB Black Grail and you got pretty lucky, I could see this being winnable. I think even though if she, and we're also not 100, so like there's a lot of things that could have gone better. But yeah, I think her win rate would be kind of crap. I think it'd be like maybe 20% tops. Should have swapped those booster cards around. Robin did quite well though for being a 3-star night class. He did really well. Give my Mordred some good command codes. Yeah, we've had a lot of people die to these. Somebody please fix the command code UI. It's just so painful. Why is everyone slotting good shit now? Like yesterday, like it was slim pickings for things, but now everybody's got like, you know, decent Bond and Black Grail and everything. Like, oh yeah, people wanted King Potato Chips, but my God, she's only Bond like 6. I mean, oh God, if this hit higher Bond, I'd be. It's Bond 6 and it doesn't have a good. It's a fucking awful CE for this. That's a good CE in general, but it's really bad CE for this. We'll try it though. People asked for this so much yesterday, but oh my God, that like starting NP against Guadia, like that's not even remotely good. Like defense up would be better, for God's sakes. We already did this with the elephant yesterday. She actually, I think, did better here than anyone I've ever seen. Like, she didn't win it the fastest, but it was basically, Guadia could have had like you know, 4 million health or 5 million health, and she still would have won. Like, she kind of beat it in spades. I wish this hand was the next hand, but what are you gonna do? That's kind of shite. But yeah, that's why I really want to just make that account for Guadia, because right now a lot of the stuff we want to try, people just don't have the appropriate Bond level for, or they don't have Black Grail and things like that. So it's just nice to be able to revisit it whenever, like, oh hey, we do have the things that we need, so. Like, if we find better Hot Wheels, you know, we can go back and try again, you know, things like that. I mean, are you not on JP, Professor? Because you can always just add me. Although everyone knows Gramps can beat this, but Well, getting our NP is not really that important. Oh god, this is why starting NP is just so bad here. Like, I'd rather have defense up than starting NP. So, quick charge is definitely not what we want to see here. We need time to ramp up. Like how somehow we didn't get our NP, but I guess that was kind of an awkward turn. Come on, crits! This is not going very well. Okay, now we want him to quick charge. It's too much damage, man. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of busters, but Buster does not do the most damage. It's something people don't realize a lot. It's the art attack is actually the worst, but the Buster still hurts. The thing about Buster is just the fact that its hit count is low, really. That's what makes it really bad. But the thing is, there's just no way she would ever outpace his damage. The amount of health she gets per turn there's just no way that's gonna outpace Guadia's damage. That's basically Guadia's thing, is his normal card damage is rather high. The thing is, the defense down is not really any different than what you might see from any other boss fight, though, because a lot of units can just clear debuffs or just win before it builds up. Yeah, it's kind of a standard, that's not like a rare thing. It matters, though, because, you know, some units can't clear debuffs or they drag the fight on for a long time and things like that. Well, I think we actually use our second skill because we're gonna die this turn anyway, so... Although we hadn't actually ramped up enough to get our NP, that's a sad sight. Hard to say if she could beat this or not. There's a lot working against us though. Like our CE is terrible, our bond is low, we had bad luck. So I think if you like got the right CE, you got the right command codes, you were bond 10, all that stuff, I could see her potentially being able to do this. Because honestly, we had a lot going against us and we still got kind of far, like, so I could see her potentially being able to do that. Yeah, Ozzy can do this. I want to point out that some things it's just stupid to even ask if they can do it, because again, Sanson can solo this, right? And now, yes, Sanson is a cavalry class, but so if the other unit you're talking about is also a cavalry class, and they're, you know, rather obviously better than Sanson, then yes, they can solo it, right? Like that's you know, what I always say, it's almost, when it comes to cavalry classes and that are single target, it's almost irrelevant to ask if they can do it or not. Basically, all of them can. It's, do you have what you need to be able to solo it, right? Because most people, they don't have Black Grail, they're not Bond 10, they're not 10-10-10, they're not Grail, they're not like normally, you know, you fail because the unit is scuffed, right? It's not that because the unit can't do it. Now, the units where it's like, they probably can't do this are Knight classes, AoE classes, you know, stuff like that. But cavalry classes, Avengers, and Berserkers have a pretty easy time here. What were we, there was something else I wanted to try. I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, Mordred. That's what it was. Let me give Mordred command codes. Hold on. Also, streamer bias, because I'm not gonna put Mordred in the all slot either. So that's just pure streamer bias right there. Trying to think exactly how I want to do these command codes. Dude, I know I say this every stream, but it's so ridiculous that they did not update the command code UI. Like, it's outrageous. Like, it's such a glaring problem, and it's so unprofessional. Like, when you literally make a change where you know people are gonna be switching command codes like candy, and you're incentivizing them to do so, you know, any fucking game worth their fucking salt is gonna improve the UI to support that. Like, it's just stupid. I'm trying to find another bust or crit command code here. It's having to search all my units for who has the damn thing. Oh, okay, it's Mori. A big surprise there. So this would have taken even longer if, like, while I was doing that last solo, I was unequipping the command codes and getting to the right menu and everything, and it's still look how long this fucking took. Ridiculous, man. I literally just logged in. I'm gonna have to remove basically every single person though, once I get past Guadia, just so I can, like, you know, get the support list sorted out again. Because every time we do Guadia, I'm gonna have to, and like on the Guadia account we're gonna make, I'm basically gonna remove and add everybody constantly, so. It would be cool as if, like, I don't know, for the anniversary, they'd let us fight Guadia again. Instead, what was it? They had us, dude, I literally saw someone say this on Reddit, right? They said they didn't understand why people didn't like the memorial fights this year. This is what he said, they weren't really any different than any of the memorial battles from previous years. That is so objectively wrong. Right, like we literally had Gwaine, but with more health, which obviously synergizes with his gimmick really well, right? And then this year we got a fucking Sphinx. Like, are you kidding me? Right, like we got Kingu, we got Kingu, but with more health, right? Like, it's just, like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, the 5th year anniversary fight stood out so much as being terrible picks and unbelievably boring. And like, I get it, if you don't care about the memorial fights, that's fine, you know, subjective things, right? But like, acting like the 5th year anniversary fights were like just as good as any other years is completely ridiculous. Yeah, honestly, but the problem was the fact that they picked Lost Belt 5-1 anyway, because really there was no better boss they could pick than Cerberus, because Lost Belt 5-1 was basically all Cerberus anyway. Wait, it's all Cerberus? Always has been, right? Like, that's pretty literally what Lost Belt 5 was anyway. The problem is that they picked Lost Belt 5-1 instead of 5-2. Like, what, like, the fuck? Like, every fucking boss that he picked was disappointing. Charlotte probably would have been better than Cerberus. I agree with that. Not by much, but... So, on the one hand, I want to do my 3rd skill so I have a 50% defense up and I don't die. On the other hand, it'd be really nice to save it in case I get a attack down. I mean, we have 17,000 health. The odds of us surviving are decent, but not amazing. You know, fuck it, we'll do this. I fancy not instantly falling over dead. Why did I not give that art card a command code? I should have given it like a Star Gen one. I think Percival has a decent chance of getting in though, like for real. Oh look, we got attack down. So if you get lucky, you could actually double NP here. If you don't die in the first turn, and then you cast Guts, and then you do like Art, and then use your third skill, you could get away with a double NP. But and my God, if she wasn't a goddamn night class, she could last a while here. Alright, let's see what you can do. Got that bloody attack down though. I mean, it's good damage in the one turn for a night class, but I don't think she's gonna get enough done now to catch up a lot of the other, like Robin and stuff. That was not a particularly good run, though. But she's AoE, so what are you gonna do? Not too bad, though. I think if things went a bit better, you could probably get to about 800k. Maybe not quite that much, but you could get about 850. I consider you're getting about 850. That's not bad. That's acceptable. Look, I've ranted about this so many times, but it never ends. Like you cannot be like Galahad is not legit because he wasn't added until later. You can't say that because if you make that standard, basically everything's dead, right? Everything was added and later. Like that's how the whole. We don't even have the original legend. We don't even know what it was, and it's we overwhelmingly believe that it was just derivative of like Welsh legends, right? There wasn't even Excalibur in the older stuff. Like it doesn't. People like trying to discredit Galahad because he was like a later edition. That doesn't mean anything. Almost everything was a later edition. You know, like that's welcome to legends. You know, and like with Greek mythology, so many of the gods and staple stuff weren't in it originally. They just got made later. That's just how writing works. Like shit. Nope, only the first draft, guys. I mean, we don't know for sure what inspired a lot of the Arthurian legends. Some of the connections to Welsh stuff, we don't know if it's like, you know, some of it could be coincidence, and also we don't know where the Welsh stuff originates from. But there are a lot of similarities to a lot of old Welsh stories that it's obvious that they influenced like Arthurian legend and stuff. That doesn't mean they're the only thing that inspired it, and it doesn't. And some of the dates are kind of, you know, confusing and whatnot. Like there's a lot of stuff that's been lost to time. It just is what it is. But what is a fact, regardless of the Welsh stuff, like I'd say, you know, the Welsh stuff influences very likely. But regardless of that, it doesn't change the fact that we don't even have the original stories. We don't know what the first iteration of King Arthur was. We don't know. It doesn't exist anymore. It's lost to time, right? Because a lot of times that you'd have with legends like that, you might have real events influencing, like for example, they might have been inspired by the Welsh stories, and then they kind of combine that with real events that happened a long time ago, and then it kind of just evolves with time. Like that kind of stuff happens all the time. But we don't know. We do not know the origin of the Arthurian legends. But what we do know is like the oldest version of the Arthurian legends that we have. The oldest we can confirm anyway. You know, it doesn't have almost any of the staples. You know, there's no Excalibur. There's no most of the knights don't exist. Like it's really basic and really different, right? And then as time goes on, you know, more things get added, and things get changed and then changed again. Like, you know, Lancelot changed and then changed again and then changed again, right? Like he changed many times, and then, you know, where the dust settles, you know, is kind of a middle ground. But it just drives me nuts when people try to like discredit things based, like they try to discredit Achilles because of like one Roman propaganda version of the story, right? It's like, what the fuck? It's like, oh wow, some French writer made up Galahad. Like that means anything, right? When literally every element of Arthurian legend was made up by just some writer, right? And what I always find funny is like with Galahad especially, is he was universally accepted after he was made up. It's not like a French writer made him up and then everyone else ignored him, like, lol, what a terrible character, right? No, overwhelmingly, the Galahad was accepted into the canon, and almost all the other writers and verbal storytellers and stuff started putting Galahad in everything as well, right? So he's just as much part of Arthurian canon as Excalibur is, because any criteria you would have to act like Galahad's not legit, you would have to apply to Excalibur as well, and fucking nobody does that. It's just stupid. You know, the extra stuff from Epic of Gilgamesh that they found isn't actually recent anymore. I've realized that a lot of time is. I remember when it was like first like discovered, like when it was recent, and I always feel like, oh yeah, that was just like a year ago. That it wasn't. It was actually quite a while ago now, but yeah, that's how it is. I mean, the thing about Zeus is in most stories with Zeus, nothing is described. People are always saying Zeus is a rapist or he's not. With literally most of the stories with Zeus, nothing is described. Like the stuff with Europa, in most stories, it doesn't depict anything. Like literally nothing. It just says that, you know, basically they had a kid and that's it. It doesn't describe what happened at all. That's overwhelmingly how most of the stuff is in Greek mythology, where it's just like, it's implied that these characters banged and then that's it. That's overwhelmingly how it is in Greek mythology. You know, there are some exceptions to that going both ways. You know, there are random versions of the stories that, you know, would make the gods seem better or worse. It just depends. And like, that's how all old legends are. And that's even how modern legends are. Look at Spider-Man, right? Look at fucking Spider-Man. There's a million versions of Spider-Man now, right? And they're all made up. And then some people think this version's bad and that version's great, or they're all bad or they're all good and blah, 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 blah. It's just, that's just how this shit works. Actually, we don't know what used Rongo Bongo in Lost Belt 5. People keep saying this happened or that happened. I have read the translations like a million times from a bunch of different sources. It literally doesn't say. Things are implied and hinted at, but we don't know. We don't even know if Rongo Bongo was fired. It's just something that looks like Rongo Bongo was fired. We don't know who fired it. You know, we don't know. There's a few things that, and the few things that we quote unquote know are coming from Beryl, who's a fucking liar. Now, there are times where FGO will say things, and they're just being, even if it's coming from a liar, the story is, they're using it as exposition, right? A lot of stuff with Guadia was just exposition. But a lot of the stuff with Beryl's not like that. He's being vague and shit, right? They're trying to not give away stuff. So it's like, I don't know why everyone's taking things that Beryl said there as gospel, because the man is a fucking liar, and most of what he said was, like I said, really vague, and he didn't straight up say anything. He just implied a lot of stuff. Because basically what he says is that fairies hate him, and then if they ever knew his location, they would try to kill him, right? But we don't actually know if the fairies are the ones that fired Rongo Bongo and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, he just gave a signal and then it happened. And then he basically says he's siding with the Lost Belt 5 king, but we don't know who that is, and we don't know if the king is on board with this or not, right? Like, there's so many things that we don't know. There's things that are implied, You know, it plays like the Excalibur Morgan music or some shit, I think, when Rongo Bongo is fired or when it's preparing to fire. You know, the attack obviously looks like Rongo Bongo, but we don't know if it's like a spellcast version or if it's just the spear or if it's the fairies or if it's Morgan or if, like, we don't know. Like, there's so much stuff we don't know and people keep making shit up. It's kind of silly. Well, you know, we'll see when we get there. Now, by all means, you know, speculate, but, so, yeah, here's the thing. That all that stuff with, like, Poseidon and Athena definitely does portray them as more evil than normal. Very much so. But it's not like... I really have to stress this. If there is one reoccurring element through the different people that wrote the different stories about the Greek mythology and everything, because, I mean, it's all over the map. But the one thing that's pretty consistent is they are never portrayed as benevolent. Ever. They're never. Even if sometimes you think what they do is maybe justifiable or whatnot, overwhelmingly the Greek gods are shown to be very temperamental and jealous and blah, 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 blah. And that's just because the Greeks were trying to explain the natural world at the time. And you have all this, like, you know, uncontrollable famine, you have storms, they didn't know what storms were, right? You know, all these things, and the gods were the explanation for that. The gods were their explanation for the world around them, right? Why is there lightning? Why is there famine? Why is there war? Why is there... Like, that's what the gods are. They're filling in the blank, right? And the individual writers and poets and sages and just word of mouth and stuff, their take on those things weren't all going to be the same. Because although lightning is lightning and famine is famine and war is war, the way the individual cities and poets and writers, you know, felt about those things were different. And that's reflected rather obviously in the different takes. Like, a lot of people, some of the legends about Zeus really portray him as, yes, being temperamental and somewhat harsh, but also ultimately, you know, looking out for the greater good of the planet. But then some don't portray him that way. You know, some portray him as very prideful and arrogant and conceited and selfish and you know, capricious and everything. And then some are in the middle, right? And there's no set canon. That's just it. And that's why I always say, whenever a game portrays Zeus, I don't really care how they portray him as long as it's somewhat based on one of the takes, right? I don't think you should try to sell it as like, oh yeah, Poseidon is always a rapist, right? Because honestly, there's way more stories where Poseidon's not a rapist than he is. It's actually like overwhelmingly that way. But I don't care if, like, let's say you make a video game like Hades, that game on Steam, Hades. You know, let's say they want to take that angle of Poseidon where he's a rapist. That's fine. You can do that. You know, you can draw inspiration from whatever version of the stories you want. But when, like, the players or the viewers or the readers start taking that as gospel and acting like there's, like, some uniform canon to what Poseidon is, there is no Poseidon. Like, this is the put the stamp on it, this is Poseidon, right? That just doesn't exist. It doesn't matter what your personal opinion is. That doesn't exist. There is no set version of Poseidon. There is no set version of Zeus. There are honestly very few universal things about those gods, you know, that, you know, the only things I can think of that are like universal is like the, you know, Zeus, you know, controls, you know, thunder and those kinds of things and that kind of, even the Titan stuff wasn't a universal stuff. Like the Olympians coming from the Titans and stuff, that wasn't a universal thing. That wasn't originally there. You know, all that stuff with like primordial chaos, that's not a universal thing. And even the names, you know, when you got, if you know, like Roman mythology is basically just, you know, them taking the take on the stories just like anyone else. And oh look, they changed the names. So even that stuff a lot of times changes. And it's, you know, it's interesting. I love this stuff. It's always cool to see the different takes on the characters and all those kind of things. But I've seen that prop up really in the last, I don't know, 10 years or whatever, where people have this like ridiculous idea that there's some set canon for Greek mythology and other mythologies. It's just silly. And like what I've said with Poseidon, and because Poseidon is a really hard one. If I for whatever reason I was making a story like Fate or whatever, and I was going to use Poseidon, I don't really know how I would portray him, especially if you happen to incorporate certain characters like Canis, because it's really hard to reconcile a lot of stuff. Because Poseidon has more like origin stories, if you will, than Canis does. as far as I'm aware, Canis only has the one. Now, Canis, when she eventually becomes Canos, or whatever you want to say, Canios, or however the fuck you say it, that story has a lot of different takes, right? Like, there's the version where he turns into a bird, and then somewhere he gets knocked into the underworld, somebody goes back to being Canis again. You know, how that story plays out varies, but as far as I'm aware, there's only the one origin story, because none of the other writers tackled the because Canis wasn't a very popular figure. That's just, there weren't that many stories with Canis. And as far as I'm aware, only one writer actually tackled the origin. So the only origin of the character does have Poseidon being a rapist, right? So if you have Canis, that's like literally the only origin to draw from, right? And so I guarantee you, if you put Canis in a work and you did not have the origin being Poseidon rape, people are going to say you're whitewashing. Like, oh, see, they made Poseidon seem better because, see, they don't have Canis being raped by Poseidon, so they're kind of portraying Poseidon in a more friendly light than that's real. But that's kind of bullshit, though, because you can portray Poseidon in a light that's more friendly, like Hades does, and that is true to all these other stories. But like I said, the problem is Canis only has the one origin story, where Poseidon has many. Right, so there's kind of no way to reconcile those things, and there's a lot of issues like that with Greek mythology and Arthurian legend and whatnot, where like certain characters and certain legends, because they didn't have so many versions, they've only got the one take, and so if you want to portray that character, there's really the only one to pull from, right? Where then a lot of characters they interacted with. Here's a good example: Green Knight has many different versions, right? Now there's some universal stuff with him, but there's some pretty different versions. Like the version from Green Knight, from like the really old stuff, it cannot sync up with like the story with Green Knight. I think it's called like Arthur and Cromwell or whatever, right? Like that, those versions of the character cannot coexist, right? You can't. It doesn't work. They're two at odds, and you see that a lot in a lot of stories and stuff. Actually, Poseidon does not have that many rape stories, to be honest. I can find way more stories that's not how he's portrayed. It's more that kind of stuff gets really famous, and that's such a thing in the modern world, where whichever portrays someone in like an edgy light or in a bad light is always the one that catches on. Like I can't. Achilles is such an example of this, because some of the most niche bullshit stories that were not even remotely popular are almost all people talk about now with him. It's kind of silly. I mean, that's not very many, Fury, when you look at how many stories of Poseidon there are. There's like hundreds or thousands of them. Like, there are so many, like, because, again, there was no canon, there was no copyright. People were just making shit up all over the place, and different things would spread through word of mouth, and some things would get written down, and some things wouldn't, and so the lack of copyright led to a lot of stories, let me put it to you that way. Basically, imagine this, I'm serious, imagine if you Googled all the Marvel fan fiction out there, right? And then you also Googled all the official Marvel stuff. And then now that there's no copyright, it's all official, right? That's how fucked it is. But so with Medusa, most of Medusa's origin stories have nothing to do with Poseidon. Overwhelmingly, that's the one I actually get annoyed with the most, because overwhelmingly Medusa has no connection to Poseidon at all. There's just one writer that did that, right? And that's fine. And again, if a game wants to draw on that origin, that's fine. But most stories with Medusa did not have anything to do with Poseidon whatsoever. Again, it's like whenever there's something edgy gets made, it's just that's what sticks, and it's kind of, I don't know, I just find it kind of silly. And again, I don't mind if people want to draw from that inspiration, but like ignoring the endless stories that aren't like that, I just think is kind of silly. Why am I looking at sabers? Okay, we gotta move on. There's so much more stuff I want to test. Like I feel like we barely tested anything, but we gotta move on here. What do we want to finish with? Let's see. We could just keep going until someone wins. If she had a survivability skill, I think she would work. Because she doesn't, I don't think she will. I actually think Gray could do this, but I mean, it would be close, and she would definitely need Limit Broken Black Grail and Bond 10 and all that kind of stuff. Might give her a chance just to see, but AoE is an uphill battle. You know, when you're imping that much, the difference between AoE and a single target gets exasperated, right? Because you're imping over and over and over again, so that damage difference is applying over and over again. But I could definitely, if she was truly maxed and you got a bit lucky, I could see it being happy. Why is my comma stage 1? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to that Medusa normally doesn't get an origin story because in most stories she's normally just kind of a generic monster, to be honest. But the thing is, that can be like with a lot of, especially with villains, most of the villains in Greek mythology don't have origin stories. Like Cyclops didn't get. I know it's a race, but there's a certain Cyclops like with Hercules and all that. That's like the one that everyone refers to. They don't. Most of them don't get an origin story. And the thing is, it's not like let me put it to you this way. I think this is like the difference between Canis and Medusa is Canis didn't exist until she had an origin story, and then some people referenced that later, like the Iliad kind of just referenced the Canis story by saying Canis was in the underworld and stuff like that, right? They don't really expand on it, but like Canis didn't exist until that origin story existed, right? And then a few stories took that origin story and ran with it. That's not how Medusa is. It's not like there's this one origin story and then other people ran with it. It's the opposite. Medusa was just this snake monster that, didn't really, it was a big deal, I suppose, but in no way was really fleshed out or, had an origin story by any means. And then one guy decided to give it an origin story. It's kind of like, you had the Joker who didn't have an origin story, and then some writers retroactively gave him one, but then the other writers don't agree with that origin story, right? I don't think it's fair to retroactively slap that origin story on all these other Medusas that had nothing to do with it. Because like with Canis, you just don't have a choice, right? Because the character was created through the origin, and then other people used it a little bit. And Medusa was just like a monster that one guy gave an origin story to, so it's pretty different. Well, no, in Fate, I don't have a problem with it, right? In Fate, it's fine, right? Like again, if a story wants to pull from a certain inspiration, that's fine. And because Fate decided to use Medusa and have her not be a monster from the get-go, and then Canis is going to be a thing, and they actually said they had decided on using Canis way back at the beginning of the game. So at that point, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense to portray Poseidon pretty negatively. I have no problem with FGO portraying Poseidon in a bad light. That's fine, but that's no reason for like the people as a whole to act like that's like how Poseidon was overwhelmingly portrayed back in the day, or that's like his canonical take, because it's just not. But yeah, in FGO it's fine. Again, if Hades wants to portray Zeus one way, that's fine, and if FGO wants to portray him a different way, that's fine, as long as both of them are at least somewhat referencing the actual stuff. That that's no issue. It's not like what FGO did isn't based on something. It is, so there's no problem. But I'm basically cautioning people from taking those kinds of things as gospel, right? Because they're not. And again, I think there really is a difference between Canis and Medusa, just because Canis existed from that origin story, where Medusa got an origin story like retroactively slapped on her. It's quite different. I like how both turns didn't have a triple quick turn. Like most of our quick cards are in the third hand. That's unfortunate. Actually, I wouldn't agree with that. I would say Edison is already a legend. I mean, people become legends sometimes very quickly. I would say a lot of American stuff like that. Like George Washington is already a legend. That happens all the time. And I'd say Thomas Edison is definitely one like that. Like, age has nothing to do with something being a legend. Hell, things can become a legend in their own lifetime. That's very rare, but that can happen. I mean, we shouldn't die? Question mark? Yeah, Greek mythology's fucked, man. But all old mythologies are fucked. Because again, it was basically Marvel with no copyright, right? So it's like, of course it's insanity. We didn't get our fucking NP. Okay, well, any chance we had of winning would definitely be tied to getting your NP on that turn. Like, I mean, that's just... The amount of lost value there is pretty incredible. Because now I can't release my second skill cleanly, right? Like, it's pretty bad. I should have done art quick, I guess, but I didn't want to put it on cooldown. Okay, I need to live this turn with, because the invulnerability obviously is not like all-encompassing, so we get a big juicy heal here though. Well, the copyright was basically the judgment of the people, right? Like if something wasn't, I mean, that's not entirely true, because some things just got written down and it is what it is. But, like, you know, mostly what spread was what caught on, right? So, that's kind of how it works. That stuff can be influenced on, you know, just who actually has a megaphone and that kind of thing, so. But also, a lot of it was just lost. You know, a lot of stuff probably was popular in the day. It was just lost to time. That's the thing, we already have an ungodly amount of different takes and different stories about Greek mythology and everything, and that's just what survived time. Dear God, I mean, the amount of stories that did not survive the ages, I mean, it's pretty like, again, the amount that we have is so overwhelming, and then you think, okay, really, Guadia, you're gonna fucking arch crit me? I do think she can beat that, though. I think her win rate would be kind of crappy. It'd probably be like 30%, but you need to get your NP on that turn sooner. You know, you need to not die right there. We need to be bond 10. We need to have a limit broken Black Grail. Because honestly, we've barely used any units that have all the pieces of Exodia. I mean, seriously, we have barely used any units that have all the pieces to Exodia. And those that we have generally won. Okay, I have to do this. I know, rulers don't really have a good time here, but, I mean, come on. Yeah, Maid Alter could do it. I don't think she has a 100% win rate either, but a lot of things don't have a 100% win rate because there's just so much you know, Guadia can triple art crit you and stupid shit like that. Like, there's just a lot of stupid things that can happen, but, the only things that I think have like 100%, I mean, Hercules has a 100% win rate, especially if you put him in the back row. He literally just won in the front row, for God's sakes. But yeah, I think Hercules has a 100% win rate now, if he's, you know, upgraded properly. I think there's a few things though that have 100% win rates if they have all the pieces of Exodia. But the thing is, most people just don't have all the pieces of Exodia. That's the thing. Like the main criteria to soloing this is actually having Exodia, and it's just most people don't. So, but as I always say, there are definitely some things, like it is impressive if an AOE unit does it, and then it's really impressive if a fucking Knight class does it. And things like that, so. Man, you gotta be a youngster if you don't get the Exodia reference, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just feel old now. Or you don't keep up with the internet, which that's also completely reasonable. You don't have to pay attention to Yu-Gi-Oh! To know the Exodia reference, though. That's the thing. It's just like, I mean, my god, the amount of memes that are prevalent, and so many people never, you know, see the source material. It's very normal. I mean, it's not a bad thing not being up to date on the memes. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just a thing. So I would like to have the debuff immunity. I feel I mean, the heal is probably not gonna help. Yeah, I honestly think we throw the heal away. I don't think 3,000 health is gonna help us. You know what's funny is this is better. Critting doesn't matter with the Buster card because he's got the crit shield, so applying burn is actually better. Oh god. That's not good. I was really hoping we would have our NP right now. Well, Martha didn't really get... This is what I'm talking about with RNG, by the way. It's like, she didn't even get to show her stuff, because we didn't get our NP, and Guadia basically just quick charged a million times. You know, this just happens sometimes. Now, some units have toolkits that deal with that, right? They have a lot of survivability, so they can kind of... It's okay if a couple of turns go kind of poorly. Hey, well, at least we're still alive. Okay, I'll take that. But yeah, that's one reason why Ku did so well, because Ku just had so many tools to deal with bullshit. Like, if Ku was an Avenger, a Berserker, or a Cavalry class, Ku would just wipe the fucking floor with Guadia. So I'm pretty sure he's not a demon, even though he's called Guadia King of Demons. But he's King of Demons, not I am a demon. You know, you can be king of something and not be that thing. You can be king of books and not be a book. Honestly, considering how much damage she's done and how bad the RNG has been, I would not be surprised if it's actually possible for her to beat this. Because, like, seriously, this is going pretty fucking badly and we're over halfway through. Guadia, what are you doing? I don't know what that run was. That was just BM right there. Yeah, you would need crits. So yeah, I could honestly see her doing that. That's something when we have the Guadia account I'll actually try, because I'd have to sit down and mess with it. But at some point we'll actually try that. Okay, we don't have much else to try out. What do I want to do to kill him for realsies? We could just fight him like a normal person. Could try to win with Sanson because he can do this. Although that's the RNG on that's somewhat high, so it would take a minute. Achilles can do this. It's actually more RNG than I would have thought, though, because he's got survivability and good at looping and good crits and everything, but he actually did struggle a bit. And it was mainly because he just didn't do quite enough damage with his NP. And then his invulnerability wasn't 3 hits, so there was, you know, some wonkiness. I mean, we don't have a Merlin worth using because this one is, you know, got a bond CE and that kind of thing. As I always say, it's way better to say, hey, I have this thing than have you done this. Because if you just say, have you done this, we're not going to have it. Not much is grabbing me. I'm looking for something kind of interesting and different, but most of these options are just like so scuffed or they don't have any, they're not even set up right, so I'm not really sure I want to try. Yeah, this has got an okay shot at this. It's AoE again and not upgraded, so it'll be kind of tough, but... Wait, I mean, that bird was so weak, there's no way. We already tried Caster Gill. Ilya probably can do this, but I don't want to use her, but she is exactly the kind of unit that would be good at this, because she's a cavalry class, has survivability, and is bond 10, and has I believe a broken Black Grail. I think the most impressive thing about all this, though, was the fact that I think Hot Wheels can beat this, and then also that Han Solo was really neat. I'm really impressed that he's gonna be able to beat this. No, Ben K cannot even come close to soloing this. Not at all. I wish I could try a truly maxed out Asterios, because I think Asterios has a chance. Because once he gets rolling, he's good. You just have to be able to stabilize. Also, can't you not see... I don't think they let you see Stage 3 of Castor Artoria unless you toggle the spoiler thing. And I don't think... oh, God. But I don't think... God, it's so hard for me to stay focused, man. I gotta get this sleep apnea thing under control. Anyway, you can't see Stage 3 or 4 Castor Artoria because of the spoiler thing, and the thing that makes it not a spoiler anymore is probably beating Lost Belt 6, which isn't in the game anymore, which is fucking stupid, by the way. That's a dumb... there's so many things... the spoiler thing is stupid, them applying it to Castor Artoria is stupid, them adding it to the game when Lost Belt 6 isn't even a thing, and then saying it's a spoiler is stupid. Like, so much stupid. I'm just going to do the regular team again because all these options are boring, and also I just find it funny how many people act like this team doesn't work when it does. And I'm sure, you know, I've pretty much never failed with it, but I'm sure you can fail with it. Like, I'm sure like the RNG can get really bad and there's a world where everything goes south and you could lose, but it's like never happened. And for God's sakes, this account is so scuffed. This is like the worst account I've ever had for doing this because I forgot to level mod Ahari, right? My bond ranks are super low, and it has fucking worked, for God's sakes. I can't believe I forgot to level mod Ahari, though. That was a pretty big mistake. Because if you level mod Ahari, you can have a back row, and then that can, if something goes wrong, you have a safety net, right? Where if you don't level mod Ahari, you have no safety net, and if anything goes wrong, you're fucked. What do I want to do? Default or Atlas? The debuffs are bad because defense down is bad, but the heal is nice. I'll go with default. I think either is fine. I don't know. Atlas is probably better if your skills are all 10-10-10, but they're not. So, I mean, just because the team failed doesn't mean it's the team's fault. Like, a lot of times it's user error. I have seen so much user error with this team. Hell, I've had user error with this team. That's a huge thing that they act like. Sometimes it's, you know, certain things can happen where something's bad RNG, but I've used this team like 30 fucking times in this boss, and I've never failed. That its win rate is incredibly high. That does not mean that there can't be something that can happen that you can't play around. But there is so much fucking user error with this team. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Most FGO players fucking suck. The overwhelming majority of FGO players fucking suck at this game. And they wouldn't even know how they were messing up. I remember Toho was talking about this when they had that live event. I think it was like Anime Expo or something, and you could just see a bunch of people playing the game. And it was just like the average player is just shit. Like they're just, and that's fine. It's not a problem. It's not a crime to be bad at a video game. But it's just shocking to me how many people are so fucking terrible at this game, and then they try to act like they're like some giant guru, and they act like it's the fault of the game, and that there was no way they could have played better or whatever. When it's like there's so much room for improvement so often. Like literally last time I used this team and I won, I made all kinds of fucking mistakes, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I played so badly, right? Like if I had lost that last time, I would never have been like, oh yeah, it's the team's fault. I'd been like, yeah, I obviously just played really bad there. Now again, I think it is possible for like, you know, Guidi to triple art crit on turn 1 or some bullshit like that. You know, there's obviously ways for things to go south. But honestly, I'll say this: if you set up properly and you actually have a back row, you can easily get this team to 100% win rate, because you know I'm playing with it with no safety net, right? And most people, it's pretty easy to have a character that has skill seal and then have some units in the back row like St. George or something, which give you a massive amount of, you know, wiggle room in case things go wrong. Because it's not like I've killed Guidi a few times. I've with this team. I've done it like so many fucking times. But there's just an inherent level of Guidi honestly has more RNG than a lot of boss fights, just because there's so much variance in, like, you know, the damage difference between his Buster and Quick and then his art. You know, his art just does so much more damage, and then like the debuffs are random. You know, the quick charge is random, right? There's some, you know, there's some elements that now certain teams can make up for that. There are some teams that have so much value that it almost doesn't matter what Guidi does. But you know, most people aren't going to have access to units like that. Yeah, I know. Like Cairo was talking about that. The reason Cairo won that damage contest was because everyone there was fucking awful. And that's what Toho was talking about. It's like whenever everybody was, it's just bad. Now there's a lot of good FGO players. There's a lot of good FGO players, right? But the player base is massive. That's what you have to understand. It's like there's obviously you know, there's too many good FGO players to count. But there's also, you know, the player base is so large that, I mean, my God. I always am torn on what I want to do on turn 1 with Hans. Because, like, you can, Oh, yeah! Hold on. I remember what the problem was when I almost lost last time. And I haven't totally fixed this, but I've kind of fixed this. It's the fact that my Hans is P 3, which we actually, the reason I canceled is because I just remembered I have another Hans. I just haven't actually applied it. Yeah, that was a thing. I remember that now. What is our? I guess we're 70% now. You know what I'm gonna do, because I might as well. This honestly won't matter very much because this only applies to Hans, and it may not come up on a turn that matters. But I'm like, I have the command code. I might as well give Hans his buff success command code. That is not the right menu. That is still not the right menu. Fucking I just love how it says command card and the picture looks like a command code. And then the command code one doesn't look like a command code at all. Like, it's just fucking brilliant. What is it, 70s? Wait, what? Let me look. I don't know what Hans is at MP4. He is... Wow, 77.5. What the hell? That is such a weird... That is such a weird amount. Oh, you know what? To make this setup even more consistent, I just remembered, because now that command codes are free, I guess I could give Asterios something. What would even be good on Asterios here? Not a lot, because the way this fight works, it's pretty much all about the debuffs. I can't really think of much that you could give him that'd be that big of a deal. I guess NP gain is okay. Doesn't really matter though. Most of the command codes that I would be like, yeah, that would really help, like, are things that don't really exist. It'd be things like a defense up command code for a turn, right? That doesn't exist. That would be really nice for Asterios. I can't think of much that would actually behoove him here. I guess I could give him the heal. That's alright. I'll just give him the Merlin one, the heal one, and then like the heal plus one, because I'm too lazy to do anything beyond that, and I just can't really think of... Like, technically I should give him like the damage cut and like the team-wide heal, but I'm too fucking lazy to equip that stuff, so I'm not gonna bother. But that would probably be good. Alright, let's go smack Quadia. Yeah, debuff removal would... That's a good call. Debuff removal would be good, but again, I'm too lazy to do it. But yeah, debuff removal would be nice. Oh my god, game, come on. Like, I just... This is why I like having a small... Okay, you know what? We'll just re-add everybody when we need them later, but I'm gonna pretty much nuke everybody, so... I can actually summon myself, and again, it's like, we're gonna make a Quadia account and all that stuff, and this account is kind of been a unique thing. I was trying to like add people the legit way and whatnot. I'll probably re-add some of these people though, just because I didn't even have Cairo and Rex earlier, but I guess I'll keep them because they're in the stream all the time. I didn't realize I'd added this many people. Okay, that's the guy that we added legit. Okay, ult accounts are gonna die. Okay, I think that's someone we added legit. I don't know if that's someone we added legit. I would think most of the Japanese names are. I guess that's the way to trick Green Boys, just change their name to... I can't really remember who we added. Okay, good enough for now. That should be small enough that I can summon myself reliably. And God, you could do Merlin for this kind of setup. So does he see out of his chest? Because like his quote-unquote, his like eyes in his head look dead, right? They don't ever move. There's no light there. Like. The antlers are sensors. Wow, nice Stargin, guys. Doesn't really matter what I do there. Wow, Phantom made 2 stars with an art card. I'm proud. mean, Cursed Arm wasn't the problem. He was the only one that made any stars there. What I'm thinking about is, do you I've never like tested it both ways enough, because you'd have to test it like 20 times both ways. It's like the options are you defense up on Bull right now and then you evade Hans, or you just evade Bull. Like theoretically Hans should not die on turn 1, right? Like, because he's a cavalry class, it shouldn't happen. But it could technically happen. And again, there's no safety net, so it'd be pretty shit. I feel like it's okay if you... I think this is the way. I am tempted to just have Hans NP on turn 1 though. I'd like never do that, but because he's got the success chance, it's kind of reasonable. Now let's do that. So I really wanted Hans to get his NP on turn 1, and then you use his second skill to then get another one, but unfortunately that did not happen. I kind of feel like you should then use his skill on turn 1 just so it's on cooldown, because now we're in the exact same boat. The only difference is, it's it's a turn longer, right? Which is not ideal. I actually don't know what I'm using on Hans because this account's CE options are kind of random. Generally, you'd want like starting NP or NP gain or defense up, that kind of thing. All right, this is a really rough start, but I think we can still recover. The main issue was just Hans' NP gain was so bad at the start there. We haven't really gotten anywhere. I mean, it's not up to QApp, it's up to Aniplex, and Aniplex has the rights, so they can't have it. They can't have it up for any version. But right now, if you need to update, you gotta use like APK Pure or something like that. Yeah, Hans is having a bad time, and see, we have no safety net. Like, normally I could have another unit come in, but I can't. That's unfortunate. No Matahari feels bad. And I probably will never, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say never, but I will probably will never level Matahari on this account because we're past the point where she's really useful. So, I'm thinking I'm gonna go Atlas instead. I feel like Atlas is more bad RNG proof than default. The heal is nice though. But like, if you don't level Matahari for this, I think it's too late to really level her. The only time I would still level her is if I just had no damage supports, like none. Well, you know, I don't know, maybe we do still level her though, because this account doesn't actually have that many now that I think about it. I don't know though. Let me think. Because the thing is, now Qin Gong exists. That's the thing, because before he didn't. Because we got Mozart and Qin Gong, and yeah, I don't have any 4 or 5 star damage supports, but still, I don't know if I would ever... The only team comp that would need it is Quick. And I don't know, I feel like I'd level Alexander before I'd level her at this point. Although they're probably going to buff her at some point. But yeah, as for QApp, it's like it's not up to them. Aniplex basically banned them from having FGO on their service, so... The QApp said they're trying to resolve that, but I doubt they'll be able to. And I don't know what they did, but whatever it was, it really pissed off Aniplex. Because Aniplex didn't do that for anyone else. They didn't do it for APK Pure or any of those other sites, so... I mean, I feel like Han's getting his NP is so likely that I don't want to use his battery skill. But last time I should have, but I feel like that was an outlier. Wow, it's not ideal. Okay, this is a little awkward because he could actually NP on this turn. Because, you know, double quick charge at the start. Well, we definitely do this. Yeah, that's what I always say about this team. The hard part is literally the first like 2 or 3 turns, and if you can weather that, it's smooth sailing, and that's why you front load your survivability so much. Although through playing it right here, I feel like what I should do, like in future, is do Asterios' defense up first, and then do evade or invulnerability second. And the reason is, it's impossible, this is actually really good logic, it is impossible for Guadia to NP on turn 1. It can't happen. But he can NP on turn 2, although it's very unlikely. So if you're going to put the invulnerability on one of those turns, it should be on the second one. Guadia, brother, what was that? And again, this is why you need a safety net, because Asterios is the only thing that really matters. But I don't have, like, normally you have like St. George. St. George is actually better than Ushi. He's just slower. And normally you put St. George in the back, and you can put like another support in the back. But no Matahari feels bad. I really do think Asterios can solo this, but I'm not sure what you would need to try it, and I've never had like an Asterios that's like set up where I could give it a shot, but I do think he can probably do it. And probably pretty easily if you do have him set up right. He might, I'm not sure, but if you have like the right command codes, the right CE and stuff, it might be possible that he can do it even at level 60. I'm trying to think. You would have to do... You'd have to give him the debuff removal command code, surely. I don't know what else you would give him. You know, maybe like NP gain or healing or something. I'm not really sure. And then probably like a defense up or a damage cut CE. It would not, if he can do it at 100, it would not surprise me if there's also a way that he can do it before 100, just because, you know, the way his loopy nonsense works. And not everyone, but a lot of people. There's more people can, if you want, like, whatever bosses you might consider, like, you know, worth a damn, there's more people that can solo Guardia than just about any other, like, quote-unquote worth a damn boss. And it's because so many classes get effective damage against him, and then his, you know, hit count is so high and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm not surprised that 100 Asterios can solo it. That doesn't surprise me. But I think if that does work, I feel like you probably can do it with the 61. I'm just not really sure what you would give him, like CE-wise and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the way Asterios' NP is, it wouldn't, and because when you're solo, you know, you get a lot of benefits, like you get your art card every turn and that kind of thing. It really would not surprise me if there's a way that, you know, he can just, you know, LOL, you know, no problem it. I'm starting to lean towards having Hans NP right away. Especially if, yeah, I guess I just don't like using, it's so tempting to try to get the double NP off, right? That's so much value, but ultimately you just need to stabilize, so it probably is right to just have Hans NP right off the bat. And again, especially if you've got the command code. The only thing that makes me feel kind of iffy about that is the fact that my Hans is not NP5, so even with the command code, there's a chance of failure. But it's like, it's all about front loading. It's all about front loading, so it probably is right to have Hans NP right away. See, now I kind of feel like I should have brought defaults, because now default would be better. Guardia not giving us any NP gain. And see, later on you can, like I said, you can afford him not giving a lot of NP gain, but early on, that's when you need it, so it's kind of rough. Come on, Guardia, there you go, okay. Now we might be able to stabilize. God, he does not like Hans. Hans is kind of the weak link here, though. Shame that Ushi didn't get her NP. I'm thinking about which way I want to do the overcharge. I guess Hans, yeah. So we actually want Guardia to quick charge this turn. Look, Fury, this account is scuffed, okay? What do you want from me? Honestly, there's really no excuse for him to be level 60 though, because I'm sure if I check my inventory, I am sure I'm sure I've got the things to level him, and I probably should have done that because, you know, more health is good here. Wow, what the fuck, man? Just no NP gain at all. But hold, let me go fix my Hans here. I didn't I thought I leveled him yesterday though, didn't I? But I guess not. I think I leveled him. I just didn't level him to 65. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yeah, I may have had a slight oversight here. You know, Boudica can actually be pretty good here. If I had Matahari and I had Boudica on this account, I would have Matahari, so you know we could actually have a back row. And the replacement for if Hans died would be either like Asclepius or Boudica or something like that. Like she's a pretty good stand-in, honestly. Having someone with heal is generally better, but once you get rolling, you don't need the heal anymore. But Boudica would not be bad at all, actually. Asclepius is a really good... I actually think Asclepius is better than Hans, and I'm not sure, I haven't tried it yet, but I think if you just switch out Hans for Asclepius, I think it's better, and the reason is because he's got more upfront value, and that's what you need. Once the ball gets rolling, it doesn't matter, right? Because once the ball gets rolling, Asterios carries you, because you have so many attack downs from Asterios. I think that's something I should change. I think I normally give Asterios, starting in P. And that probably is better, because I think that's what's, like, the defense up is nice, but honestly, just NPing right away is a really big help. So I should probably, I bet, I don't know what I used in the video, but I bet you I used, I don't know, defense up's good too. Defense up is like, you're safer against something going really wrong like at the beginning, so I'm not really, it depends. It's one of those things where like the different CEs cover different bad RNG, and so which RNG is more likely to happen, I don't know. You'd have to do this so many times to figure that out. But anyway, so I think Asclepius is better because he's got like that targeted heal, he's got the debuff clear, so if you let defense downs early, you can get rid of them. The guts is a nice safety net. And yeah, you don't get the defense ups, but you don't need them. You only need the defense ups at the beginning, right? Once the ball gets rolling, you don't need the defense ups anymore, because then you've got so much attack down, it's not relevant anymore. And I think for like stabilizing at the beginning, I think Asclepius is really good, because let's say Guadia decides to double art attack Asterios. You've got guts, so you're fine, right? And then let's say Hans almost dies on turn 1, or Asclepius, excuse me, almost dies on turn 1. Now you use the targeted heal on himself, right? You just have options like that. Also, he gives battery to Asterios on turn 1. It gives him the 20% battery and stuff. I'm not sure. I've never tried it, so I'm just theory crafting, so I could be wrong, but I think Asclepius is probably better than Hans. But again, if you have Matahari or anyone with skill seal, you could bring both, and if one happens to die, the other one is just replaced by them, and that's, you know, that's fine. I hate that I didn't get to show this off in the video. I actually wish something had gone really, really wrong in the video, because, dude, double St. George is such a good safety net here. Because they get to NP often, and that means they apply their defense up often, and then they have their 3-turn defense up anyway, and they're a rider, so they get the counterclass. But like, St. George is a really surprisingly good cleanup unit here. Like, it's kind of wild. Because seriously, George will be running around at 60% defense up for most of the fight. And then he also has guts and a heal. Oh yeah, I guess on NA, Lost Belts cost more AP and stuff, don't they? Oh god, is Guildfest Lost Belt 2 locked? Because I just remembered I haven't beat Lost Belt 2 on NA. I don't care that much because I don't really care if I do Guildfest on NA or not. I'd like to though, but I forgot about that. Is this Vucula? Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter then. I don't remember what the Guildfest requirement was. Oh, Oniland? Oh, I don't give a fuck about that. Oh no, guys, I might not get caster shooting. Although I do need to do Lost Belt 2. I've just been procrastinating. I guess we could have Ushi not using vulnerability. I mean, evade. Nah. There's no reason, because again he might double art attack her or something. You might as well. That's such an intense voice line. That sucks though that Hans's buff success chance only applies to himself, as I think it does. That's what people have said. I've not actually tested that, but yeah, wow, that is a lot better, I have to say, and like because I mean, well, that's not, but Asterios relies so much less on like Guedia there. Look like you just because you got the now. Obviously, we had a good hand, but still, like you know, that was really bad though. Guedia's actions are pretty much as bad as we could get. Art attack is the biggest problem. Let's see. So I can be completely safe here for NP. We also have invulnerabilities still. I'm trying to think what's the smartest way of trying to like even this out. I kind of want to wait to NP and maybe just do invulnerability. But if I NP, I could potentially get my NP back. It's just scary because if I NP and then he quick charges and it NP's next turn, it's wrong. And if Guedia doesn't quick charge though on either turn, then it's right to NP right now. I'm gonna... Okay, so I should have cleared Hans's defense down, is what I should have done. And I think I'm just gonna do this though. This is risky though. This is some risky shit right here. Wow. Okay. Okay, I gotta give a bit more survivability to the team here, I think. Good God. Guedia's not having any of our shit right now. I mean, these are very unlucky runs, but I don't think I'm setting this up quite right. The main problem is I don't have Matahari. That's a huge problem. Because you can... Okay, let me explain this. Normally, what you would do is... where the fuck is, God, sleep deprivation is not a fun thing. There we go. So normally you would have Matahari, and so she does her skill still thing. So Guedia never gets to do his NP thing. Like, it just doesn't happen, right? And then you intentionally don't like save Matahari. You don't give her a CE for survivability. You just give her like debuff success chance, right? That way you want to make sure you land the skill seal. Then you know, Asterios probably would have taken some damage, so she dies, and then Hans comes in, and you use his NP right away, right? And the heal's not going to waste. But then you bring like you know, this, and because Ushi dying doesn't matter, anyone can do the damage, right? So you bring this and like, you know, some other support, whatever you want, or another DPS. But and so if Ushi randomly dies like that, it doesn't matter. Like, the damage dealer does not matter. It's irrelevant. All you're looking for is to stabilize Asterios, and then once Asterios gets rolling, then it's GG. You know, once this team gets going, it's like impossible to fail, right? So the damage just comes with time, right? It's like, who gives a fuck, right? The damage will happen sooner or later. So the damage part's irrelevant. So if Ushi randomly dies, it doesn't matter. You just have another rider in the back that can replace her. And if Hans dies, you have another support in the back that can replace him. And so that's why I say that this team is insanely consistent. Like, even though we're losing right now, that's because we're having really bad RNG. That's because we're not bringing the team. The team is supposed to be fucking Madohari, or anyone with skill seal. It doesn't have to be Madohari specifically. But Madohari is a good pick, because anyone can have her. Right? And then, so if the reason you bring Madohari is because if something goes wrong, you have a back row that replaces these units and it's okay. The only unit that if he dies, you're screwed is Asterios, but you just favor Asterios, right? You use the Mystic Code ability on Asterios. You don't use it on someone else. You use like the, you know, invulnerability, you use it on him. That kind of thing. The hardest, like the least important thing is Ushi. By 1,000,000%, the least important thing is Ushi. Now, because we aren't using anyone with skill seal, Ushi is kind of important, right? Because we don't have a backup damage dealer, or we have no backup at all, right? So she's kind of important. But normally if you're doing this kind of team, Ushi is she's just not important. Asterios is very important, and then Hans is like medium, right? Now with what we're doing right now, they're all like equally important because we just don't have a back row. But let me look real quick. So theoretically, I should be using Benkei, because Benkei can do this without being leveled. The question is, am I actually willing to give Benkei skill gems? Because I just looked it up, and Benkei's skill seal is on his first skill, so he's actually superior to Madohari here. The problem is his skill seal is RNG, because this fucking game, right? I'm pretty sure Madohari's isn't. It's just Madohari, you have to get her third skill. Yeah, Madohari cannot fail her skill seal, because Guedia has no magic resist. So it will, and at rank 1, it will always work no matter what. So Madohari in that sense is better. But Benkei, you don't need to level to have skill seal, but his skill seal is 50% at rank 1. And it goes up to 100% chance, but you'd have to rank Benkei's skill to 10, which, I mean, nobody wants to do that. That's not good. Now, you might have the Shinji CE, and that increases its success chance by 20%, but you might not, right? So let me look. That is nice, though, with Madohari, that because Guedia has no magic resist, her third skill will always work. And, the reason I'm skeptical is I haven't even leveled Leonidas yet. I need the skill gems. I haven't even leveled Leonidas yet. And I'm trying to think, like, yeah, I could put in George. That would be helpful if Ushi happens to die. I'm trying to think what I would even put in to replace Hans. Because I haven't leveled most of the stuff that would make sense. Let me think. There's David, but that's not... That's There's Qingong. That's okay. You'd want someone else that has an NP that has survivability on it. Funny enough, hers does, but there's a few things wrong with that. There's Boudica, but I don't feel like Boudica's worth leveling right now. Dude, Leonidas is really good. Like, I mean, he's niche too, but my god. Benkei is such a fucking niche unit, dude. I feel like I'm not sure it's worth it to level Benkei if I don't have a support that I really want to use. You know, David's fine and Qingong's fine, but like, I mean, they basically have to live to the point where Asterios gets rolling, right? I'm trying to think of units that I want to level anyway. Like that's the main thing. I'm thinking trying to find something that I would level anyway. Because Boudica is not really something I would level anyway. Martha is something I will level anyway. Trying to think. I mean, I guess she could be a good backup DPS. She would kind of take the slot of a St. George, though. I mean, she's okay. You get the healing, you get the debuff clear, but you have to, oh my god, you have to do all this strengthening quests. I don't want to do that right now. Like, she's fine, honestly, like, but, I don't think now is the time. I'm trying to think of what like George is fine for a backup DPS for Ushi. You know, yeah, he's kind of slow, and I don't think I've even given him attack foes yet, which I can probably just fix that. 'Cause... Wait, I didn't give him health foes? What? What's wrong with me? Yeah, you could do Fuma and David and just face tank the farmer. There's a lot of ways to survive DNP, but I haven't done all of Fuma's, you know, stuff. I figure we use George enough that I can justify this. Oh, you know, oh god, this is completely, has nothing to do with what we're doing at hand, but I think I may have forgotten to, yeah, I did. Whew, boy, am I glad I realized. I forgot to spend my event currency. Yeah, if you buff block Guadia, he does not get the Piercing Vulnerability. Alright, what's worth buying on this account? Okay, respecs are a fucking joke. I'm trying to think who needs these mats. What does Asclepius use? Because I do plan on getting him when he's available. He's eggs and stems and stuff. Okay, he's in pages, so nothing here. Honestly, we don't need really any of this that much. Does Ricky Boy use the orange fruit things? I don't remember. Who uses crystals? See, the problem is I don't remember the name of half of these mats, so it's hard for me to look them up. Because it's all newer servants, so I don't... Okay, well... It's not like I have anything else to buy, so we'll go with these. I have 0 of them. I don't really need the night metals that much though, because I can already farm them and I already have a decent amount. But we do have Bedivere and whatnot. I'll buy a few, but I don't really need that many. Thing is, a lot of these... Jesus, I hate how these fucking say something every time you do anything. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, a lot of these mats, I don't have any servants that actually use them right now. It's just in case I happen to get them. Shin uses these, but I've already gotten him up, and one of his skills is already up, so I don't need those too much. I'm gonna buy these just because I don't know if we're gonna do Shimosa anytime soon. Even though I don't even need them right now. But I just feel like it might be a minute before I end up doing that, so. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I cannot decide if I want to level Benkei so I can have a safety net or not. Because you don't need the safety net, but the safety net lowers the RNG dramatically. But I don't know, it's like... The only other thing I'd ever use Benkei for is God Juna. And he needs to be level 25 for that. And like, I need Lancer skill gems for so many things right now. I don't feel like it's worth it to just increase... yeah, it would increase the RNG by quite a bit, but... Well, Ku's already past needing blue gems. If I had the Shinji CE, I would say, yeah, it's worth it. Because then I wouldn't... The Shinji CE makes him 70% by default, so you level the skill just a couple times, you're gonna be 80, 85%, no problem. But because I don't... The thing is, I burned most of the debuff chance CEs that I had because I was a dumbass. Because I was like, yeah, I'll probably just get the 4-star one, but I haven't gotten the 4-star one, and I burned the 3-star one, so... It would be neat to see Benkei actually doing something, though. I just realized how scuffed our Hans is. I can't remember. Is Hans's charge skill tied to skill rank? I don't remember. It's not part of the skill originally, so a lot of times that kind of stuff isn't. It is. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to like what kind of battery we're getting per turn. So yeah, no, that was very worth leveling. I should have done that a while ago. That's such a good skill now. People want me to level Benkei, but like, dude. I mean, in the long run, blue gems are not a big deal. Okay, fuck it. Why not? The main thing is, I don't feel like this is that helpful though, because I just don't have a lot of units to take the place of Hans right now. Like, yeah, it's nice to be able to have a safety net in case Ushi dies. Like, that's good. But it's like I don't have a safety net if Hans dies. And I can only get it. Oh god, I think I can only get it to 3. Let's look. What's the RNG gonna be, boys? I think our CE increases its success chance by 5%. So yeah, we have a 70% chance of success here. I don't know, man. See, again, if we had the Shinji one or the 3-star one, I'd be like, okay. Actually, we might have a better 3-star one. We don't have the stun one, but we actually... I probably would have burned it, though. Let me look. I need to do this kind of stuff anyway. It is so hard. The UI for this is such a mess. Here we go. Okay. Oh, right. The 3-star one was from... I remember. Yeah, the 3-star one was from Halloween. And then there's a different one, which is also objectively better, by the way. Actually, no, it's a side grade. But there's that other one from... what was this from? I don't remember. There's that one with Shinji and Medusa on it. I don't remember what that's from. But yeah, The other ones are like certain debuffs. Like you got the 3-star one, the self Geoss scroll. That one specifically boosts stun. The 2-star one that anyone can get is 5%, which is not so good. Okay, so this is closer to how the team is supposed to be. It's still not exact, but it's definitely better. I just don't know what I'm gonna do about the Hans replacement. God, I'm so tired. It's so hard to concentrate, dude. God, it's not even tired. It's like it's just. I don't know how to describe it, but you know, it's like when you don't sleep a lot, you get that, and it's just hard to concentrate. It's so annoying. The Uchi CE does not matter at all. Really, you should probably give her a survivability one. But this is kind of, you know, if I have it, I'm like, you know, it's kind of cool to get the big damage, but her dying is the problem. You can always give Hans things like that. There's a lot of CE options. So what is the replacement for Hans? Let me think. Might be better to go with the damage CE, but fuck it. Let's see. Unless I'm mistaken, we do not really have anyone. Oh my god, Geronimo is actually, I'm not kidding. I'm serious. Geronimo is a perfectly good replace. If Hans dies and Geronimo comes in, that is a perfectly reasonable replacement. I'm serious. Because if you're at the point where Asterios is getting his NP going, all you really need is a little bit of healing. And he even gives you debuff resistance. Like, I'm serious. Geronimo is a legitimate stand-in here. I'm not sure he's worth leveling just for that. But for real, he's totally fine. You don't need his skills, you just need his NP. Once you get the ball rolling. I almost want to try something stupid. I just want to know, like, hold on. Because all you need is his NP, right? You don't need anything but that. Let me think. Oh, hold on. You'd surely have to level them some. You couldn't. You could not have him like not be leveled at all. Oh my god, am I about to level Geronimo? I'm so curious about this though. This because he is a cavalry class, right? So it's like there are things in his favor. God, this is not what I was gonna use these embers on, but I've never even thought of this. This makes such a fun safety net. Like, it's pretty neat. Like, I was thinking, you know, Asclepius is the best replacement, which I stand by that, you know, and anyone that's got like a heal or a defense up, you know, like Boudica and stuff. But you could. This is the sleep apnea talking? I mean, maybe, we'll see. I mean, I think it's fine. I don't think this is, like, amazing, but, like, you know, he's a cavalry class, and he heals, and then gives you debuff resistance. Although I won't have done his NP upgrade. So there's that. So we won't have the, oh, he has crit down! That's good! I mean, there's, oh god. He needs hero proofs, though. That's a hard sell. And we have so many this is probably not the smart thing to do. I do love Geronimo though, and I tell you, if they ever buff Geronimo, I want him leveled on like every account. Like I like Geronimo a lot. It's just I know for a fact you don't, you know, like once you get like if I had Asclepius right now, you would just use him instead, and we're gonna get Asclepius eventually, so that kind of tells you probably should not invest into this. But again, if they ever buff If they ever buff Geronimo, I want him on every account. Like, I've already got Geronimo leveled on my main, you know, and he's got his second skill at 10 and all that good stuff. This doesn't make a lot of sense because we've got Nursery Rhyme, but, and I just don't know, because his max, I'm not gonna level him enough that his max health is gonna be so high that I don't know about this. I don't know about this. But this is kind of a, if it works, this is a pretty interesting option. Honestly, you could do Mozart as well, because we've already leveled Mozart. And the thing about Mozart is he, you know, get the attack down. That adds up too, so. Like, Mozart would make a large degree of more sense than this, I would say. The question is level 60 high enough? Because he needs to be able to survive, like, a turn, right? I can't believe I'm doing this. I swear, if I didn't just like Geronimo so much, I would not do any of the things that I'm doing right now. Like, I really am a big Geronimo fan. Like, I actually just decided, chat, I've decided, because you may say this is the sleep apnea talking, but no, I've decided on something. So we've said that we're grailing Hercules, and that's going to happen. We're not changing our minds on that. Hercules is getting grailed, but I've been really unsure. I've been really unsure about what I want to grail on this account because, you know, I'm not really handicapping this account aside from not using Merlin and Waver and, you know, that kind of thing. But I'm like, you know, a lot of stuff I would grail, I've already grailed on my other accounts. I've already got a grailed Billy and a grailed Q. And yeah, those are very practical things to grail. You know, see, I think people know where I'm going with this. I'm grailing Geronimo on this account because, I mean, I really like Geronimo, man. And if I'm gonna level him right now for shits and giggles, fuck it. You know, we might as well make these levels worth something, right? And, you know, in the long run, like, I'm not grailing him right now, obviously, but I'm gonna grail him eventually. I'm okay with this. I've wanted to use Geronimo more anyway. I'm cool with this. Like, I'm okay with having grail Geronimo. We'll probably grail Nursery Rhyme too. But yeah, I do feel like we're kind of blue balling a Nursery Rhyme right now. But what are you gonna do? All right, let's see. I guess this would be the order. It's either that or you just give him like K-scope and you just NP right off the bat. It really comes down to like what shape Asterios is in. I have no idea. Okay, I trust my past self because my past self did more testing than my current self did. I want to know what my past self, what Mystic Code did I decide on? Because I cannot decide right now between Atlas and Default. I went with Default. I guess that makes sense because it's better for like the upfront because the heal. Okay, we'll go with Default. Yeah, I cannot decide. What did my past self do? Let me look. My past self went with starting NP on Asterios as well. That probably is right. I don't know though. The defense up is nice. Okay. It's funny, I've referenced my past self before because I just, there's times where like I know in my past I like did a boss over and over again to like figure a lot of stuff out, right? And then my current self doesn't remember that shit, right? So you just trust your past self more than your current self. That's happened several times. There are also times though where like as I continue doing a boss on like new accounts or whatever, I discover things that I had not discovered in the past. So there's that too. So here's what I've decided. We're grailing Ku because Ku's my favorite, but I'm not sure how high. Probably not to 100, but Ku's getting some grails. Hercules is getting all the grails. Geronimo is getting some grails. So those are the ones I've decided on. Yeah, but we still are going to have plenty of grails for more stuff than that. Wow. He actually did it. I mean, I guess the odds were in his favor. But, alright, well, we definitely, no doubt we do this. That's just no question. So I guess with this route, do you do invulnerable or evade first? I think. I feel like this is mathematically sound. This really is a lot better though than what the other way. Like having skill seal is a huge help because you basically get a free turn on any MP game. Like there's still room for things to go wrong, but it is nice to have a safety net. Especially because it means you don't care about Ushi if Ushi just randomly gets blasted in the face. It's like who gives a shit. I like how, dude, Guadia is an ass. This has happened 3 times now. This stupid. Like remember when we used Hercules, and you know Hercules needs no favors. Hercules needs no favors to beat this, right? And Guadia triple quicked, right? And I was like, really? When we just use all those other units that could have really used the triple quick, and then they don't get it. Right, and then we did like we had another, I don't remember what it was. We had another setup where we were obviously fine, and he did that again, right? And then here, when we did not have the safety net, you know, Guadia was just like quick charge, Buster, right? And, you know, Buster has the really low hit count, right? And he literally did triple Buster and that kind of shit. And now we have a safety net, and then he triple quicks. Like he's. This man, dude, I swear TF is in there. Guadia's a mecha. That's why he's so big. He's a fucking power suit. And TF is in there. Oh my god, let me think. Now I want to capitalize on the good luck. I guess, okay, we would do that. I guess now you don't have Han's MP right away because... Okay, so Ushi does so much more damage if you have her NP after Asterios, but it's not worth it. You generally want to overcharge Asterios for that long-term value. Well, no, that's for Hans, not for Asterios. That's for Hans. I guess we could. Although having art card first is nice just because of the bonus. I mean, it's not about damage, right? That's not what we're here for. It's about survivability. Doing Asterios' quick card is nice in that it makes him even more likely to get his NP again. Unlikely for that to make or break you though, but it could happen. Where Hans is better in case we get kind of a wonky turn. You could also art chain. You know, oh, that's so boring. I think you're. Oh god, I think you should. Yeah, I think you're supposed to art chain here. It's too late. I used the attack up. I mean, I could technically still do the art chain, and let the attack buff go to waste. But it makes a lot more. Again, the damage just comes with time. I can't stress this enough. This fight is all about. Yeah, well, yeah. I'm literally whiffing. But like, what if he triple busters? What if he triple busters? Oh my god, this is so painful. I just wasted. I just wasted so much damage right there, like the attack buff and everything. Actually, never mind. He still has his shield, actually. Excuse me. So, actually, it was way better. What the fuck, bro? I should have done Asterios' second skill. I cannot believe Guadia just double bustered and then arted, and then out of all the people he attacked Asterios, where everyone else was fine. I gotta remember, man, you just front... this is the advice I always give people, and I'm not taking my own advice. You front load everything. You just front load everything, because most of the stuff does not matter later. Once Asterios has like 2 or 3 NPs up and you've got the lingering attack down, it just doesn't matter anymore, right? So it's like, just blow everything at the beginning. He couldn't have just art up done the art attack to, you know, pawns or something. Had to do it to Asterios. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Doesn't Asterios' defense buff? Yeah, it lasts 3 turns. What am I doing? What is wrong with me? Asterios' defense buff lasts 3 turns. Why did I not? What is wrong with me? I guarantee you. You know what, chat? We're gonna go down memory lane. We're gonna watch my video. I guarantee you, past screen, cast that defense up super fucking early. Even if I get his NP right away. I guarantee it. There's no reason not to cast that. I have enough faith. I have enough faith in my past self that I bet you, even if Asterios has his NP, I bet you past screen cast the goddamn defense up. Let's see. I mean, maybe not, but I bet you I do. Oh my god. I forgot it lasted 3 turns. I seriously thought it lasted 1 turn. And it's a 40% defense up. Like, that absolutely would have saved us there. That absolutely would have saved us there. This is what I'm talking about. We failed, and it's not the team's fault. It's user error. Okay, I'm guessing I cast evade here. Like, for not a defense up. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I'm on board. Like, you know, that's what I did earlier. Like, up to this point, it's the same. I bet you I can't. Dude, I'm telling you, I bet you I cast on turn 2 here, even if I get my NP. Like, it just makes sense, because you need to stabilize. You're not even going to need the defense up later. No, didn't even hesitate. Look, and I know my editing. That's not, you know, I edit out the wait time between actions, right? I edit out the wait time between actions, but there's no edit there. Like, I know my editing well enough. There's no edit there. I didn't even wait. I just, yeah, of course you do the defense up here. Like, it just, oh my god. So that's what I'm talking about. Literally, we just failed, and it's just user error. Like, it's stupid. Because it's 3 turns. Because even if Guadia, like, quick charges or whatever, you're still gonna have it. Right? You're still gonna have the damn thing because it lasts so fucking long. That's what I'm talking about, man. See, younger Green was just smarter, man. He's getting fucking stupider with age, I swear. Watch us, at some point, that because we're not using Madohari, at some point, that's right there is gonna bite us in the ass. I do like how Ushi has the MP gains in the team, though. That's pretty swell. That's such a perfect example of user error, though, because those 2 things played out exactly the same. Like, those turns played out exactly the same. It's just, you know, genius me decided not to use my defense up for some fucking reason. Okay, I'm gonna click the second skill. This has actually played out the same way 3 times now. It's just, you know, 2 out of the 3 are playing slightly differently. All right, let me think. So, I'm pretty sure you just don't have Hans in P. This, I gotta tell you, the skill seal helps a lot. Because, you know, obviously we just fucked up, but that was pure user error. This really helps, because it's so much easier now to not use Hans' second skill, right? When I was literally just using these 3 units and nothing else, right? It's really unclear what you should do with Hans. But it's really easy to have Hans not use his second skill now, because it's pretty likely that Asterios has his NP, and Asterios kind of covers Hans, right? So then you don't have to waste Hans's heal for the 1 turn and stuff like that, right? Now, you know, it's still possible that Hans doesn't get his NP and things like that, right? There's still reasons you might have to use it right away, but it gives you the option of something really good happening, where the other's way that you can't really capitalize on that. I mean, I've killed Guadia so many fucking times, bro. I've actually probably killed Guadia more than like any fucking boss. Other than maybe the dragon. The dragon has had a bad time. But it's not a good joke. I know, I get the reference, Rex. I even referenced that myself in a video, for God's sakes. I'm trying to think. If you save the heal for Asterios, probably because we're going to heal this turn anyway. So I think you actually have Ushi NP here to just overcharge Hans. Like, you care that little, even though he has the shield, you care that little about Ushi's NP damage. Like, it's pretty irrelevant. Likely story. Like, that's what you would say. So this is where we're about to, like, we're pretty much about to stabilize here, which is fucking 98%! That's what you get for not leveling up your skills. Like, we're gonna live without Hans's NP, but it would be nice. Like, that the extra push there would be swell. What rank is it? I think it's rank 6, so it needed to be rank 7. This is why leveling your skill ranks matters. That really sucks. It's not because, like, again, we're gonna live this turn. That's not the problem. The problem is a lot of MP gain is gonna go to waste now. The only way that you can kind of run this back is if we get 200% on Hans. It's still not as good as having 2 NPs, like, not at all. But the thing is, I kind of want to do this because I want him to get full health again. That sucks, man. We could have got, and then Ushi could have got another attack buff, right? And then, you know, that adds up too, but, you know. See, I just feel like I shouldn't have even used the second skill then, because I would have gotten my NP without it, most likely. Honestly, if you really want to remove RNG from this setup, you should give Ushi a survivability CE. There's no actual reason to give her a damage CE. It's literally no point. I'm just doing it because I'm being greedy. Art down is unfortunate. Honako greed indeed. I pretty universally do that until I get like slapped, then I go the safe route. Like when I played Hearthstone, I would always go with the greedy plays, man. Oh my god, how did we fucking... Oh, we had so many defense downs, that's why. God damn it. I'm surprised we died there. That makes me lean towards Atlas again. I mean, you don't normally have quad defense down. I cannot make up my mind between... I don't know. I feel like the heal was pretty redundant there. Like, I think the way we're playing this, I think the heal is really redundant. So I do think this is better. I don't know, it's like, it just, that doesn't happen that often though. And so for all the times that doesn't happen, then the heal is better. But I guess you don't need the heal to win, I think. So I guess it's better to cover something really bad happening. And I'm kind of enjoying learning all the little stuff in this fight again. I think some of it is just the lack of sleep, but also another thing that's also really making this harder is our skill ranks. Our skill ranks are not the best. You know, I guess I could have saved Ushi's first skill to hit Hans, actually. Like, it's really nice if Asterios gets his NP right now, and, you know, the better the odds, you know. Just shame that Asterios' overcharge doesn't really matter. Do I do the quick just to get as much NP gain as possible? I mean, now, it's pretty good to do the art chain because, you know, sometimes Guadia is just like, lol, buster, quick charge or some crap, and you don't really get any NP gain, so... Good to play it safe. And again, especially on the early turns. The early turns, it's all about stabilizing. Once you stabilize, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. But it's like, it's clearly not the team, because you can literally see the mistakes I'm making, like with the defense up. That's an obvious mistake, not using the defense up where I did there. Okay, so this is where we gotta start making some decisions, because he could... This is awkward, because he could NP before Asterios hits his NP again. I think we go for then, like, double Hans NP. So, we want Ushi to overcharge... Hans. Did Hans do his buff success chance? I think he did. So we do... I mean, there's not much point in overcharging. Like, I'm literally going to do Ushi's NP even though it doesn't do any damage, but yeah, I guess we do it like that. I think that's right. Yeah, I just need to pay attention if I have defense downs. If I have a lot of defense downs, I need to use Atlas. Who do I use the cooldown reduction on? Probably Asterios? See, I would have been happy if he had double quick charged and NP'd there. That would have actually been really good for us. This is actually kind of rough. I probably should not have used this. Fucking... I'm so used to having Hans at 10 that I think we're gonna die because of that. So I think I should have not had Asterios NP. Because we would have lived that turn without it. Like Hans's NP would have been more than enough because Asterios still had the 40% defense up. So I think what you do is, I think I got it now. You use Asterios' first NP, you do as soon as humanly possible. And his second NP you don't do until you think you can block the NP with it. And then after that, you should stabilize before the third NP ever happens. I'm pretty sure that's what you should do. But I think we're gonna die here. Because we've got 60%. If Asterios had the defense CE, I think we would live. He'd have an 80% defense up. And because we've only got 30. What's my attack down right now? I think it's... Fuck, what is... I don't know. Oh wait, it's 25. I think it's 25. So we're 25, 45... Oh, he has 85. He has 85 defense. So yeah, he'd have 105 defense if I had the CE right now. We might live. Hans is kind of the one I'm worried about because he does not have the 40% defense up and he has the defense down. Uchi I don't give a fuck about because even if she dies, we don't fail. This is going to be interesting. Because this is really this is a very bad timeline. And I definitely should not have NP'd when I did, but it'll be, if we live here, then we probably stabilize? But yeah, I think if, the only time I think what I did last would have been right is if I had already had a bunch of defense downs. Then I probably should have done Asterios with NP. Why did I take 0 damage? Oh, I think it's because Hans's NP was also overcharged, so the defense up is actually bigger. I think Asterios actually has 100% defense up right now. I like how Asterios is at 98% NP right now. That's swell. Thankfully, he's got his defense up, so he'll be fine. But that's annoying. Hans does not have his buff success chance, and he has every art card except the one with the command code, so that's unfortunate. This is a bit shaky for Hans now. Asterios is totally fine. After all this time, Uchi finally gets to do damage. Okay, Hans, you need to land the defense buff on yourself really bad. It's pretty important. He didn't land it. I'm gonna blame the fact that he's MP4 for that. For once, I want Guidi to quick charge. I'll take that too. You know, I'll take that. That's not so bad. You know what? I actually think we overcharged Asterios. I mean, okay, hold on. Asterios is over. No. Yeah, his overcharge is the defense down. That's no one gives a fuck about the defense down. I'm literally going for the 1 NP gain on Asterios over the art chain for Uchi. That's how little I care about Uchi. Hans, buddy. He landed it on himself at least. I didn't see the other ones, but that's really the only one that mattered. I think we're good now. I learned a lot though. Actually, I didn't really learn a lot. I actually re-remembered things. Almost everything I learned here, I already knew. I had just forgotten. But like, you definitely always, no matter what, you use Asterios' defense up on turn 2, right? Like, and like with, I don't know if I should have waited on Asterios' NP or not. It probably depends on if a lot of stuff. But honestly, this beginning was really bad. Like, we did not have good luck at the beginning at all, and I think we've stabilized. I think I've figured this out pretty well now. We're not 100% stable yet, though, but we're pretty close. I actually might pass on Ushi's NP here, just because... Yeah, that's painful, but I think you pass on Ushi's NP here. Like, again, we're almost stabilized, but we're not quite... We're not quite stable, and I like getting the buff success chance on Hans here. Like, I'm pretty sure if I start redoing this over and over now that I like, you know, I know to cast the defense up on turn 2, and I kind of know you got that one turn with the NP, it's kind of shaky. I think I pretty much got it now, but that was an awful turn, and see, that's why I didn't do Ushi's NP. Because Hans wouldn't have gotten his NP, right? Like, that's an unlikely turn, but, you know, it can happen, so, you know, Ushi's NP is just not important enough. See, and you might say, when I said earlier that Asclepius is probably better than Hans, you might be like, I don't know, you get all those defense ups to deal with the defense downs, but Asclepius gives you debuff immunity, right? So it's like, and then he has debuff clear and debuff resistance, and like, so I don't know, man. I think Asclepius has got the number there. We have so much defense down, but again, at this point, I think we're pretty stable. It is kind of, in the long run, it is kind of nice to have the defensive CE on Asterios, just because it basically removes one defense debuff. Also, having the debuff clear command code would obviously be good, but it's kind of nice doing without it, just because you know, a lot of people won't have that. But if you have a friend with Asterios and you're asking him to slot him for you or something, or you're using your own, yeah, you should probably give him the thing, or give it to Hans or somebody, you know, not Ushi. Don't give it to fucking Ushi. Really no point in using her evade here, because we're gonna be fine. Yeah, it don't really matter. Yeah, I think the big... I'm really glad that I did this again, though, because now I can give people better advice. It really is, you know, skill seal, let them die, bring in Hans. If Asterios got his NP, don't use Hans' second skill. On turn 2, no matter what, always use Asterios' defense up. And then after that, after the first Asterios NP, you just gotta be a little bit careful with the second one. I think more times than not, you probably cast it right away, unless, you know, Guadia is like, you know, quick charge to fuckload already or something. But yeah, I think normally you do the second NP right away. And then you just pay attention to the defense downs, clear the defense downs early. The only thing that I'm still not really sure about is the CEs. I'm pretty torn on the CEs. Okay, at this point, now early on, it's like, yeah, you always cast Asterios' defense up, but at this point, we don't. Because we're stable now, and we're about to NP, so don't do it. Now, you transition, your thought process needs to change. By the way, if we had a Bond 10 Ushi, and like, Limit Broken Black Grail, we probably could have killed by now, especially if I didn't NP'd on that one turn. But so now you transition into, you save Asterios' defense up for an oh shit moment, right? We're like, oh god, I have defense down, Guadia quick charge, and I don't have Asterios' NP, right? You use it then. And then now, and same for Ushi, now you save her evade for that, that kind of shtick, so. But yeah, we're totally stable now, because now if we have a really bad turn, because the thing is, as much as you have really bad turns, you have good turns, and the fight goes on for a long time, you are going to have turns where Guadia is just like LOL, quick, you know, shit like that. You just need to stabilize to get to the point where you have enough attack downs that are permanent that you can weather a shitty turn, which we are obviously at that point because we even had like a triple buster turn and we were fine. Like, and crits don't matter. Crits don't work with the way defensive and attack down works. Like if you hit for 0 damage, a crit won't. It doesn't do anything. Now crits do wreck you if you're using damage cut. We have a defense down. Honestly, I think we're so secure at this point. I don't think I need to do Asterios' defense up. Like we're in really good shape now. If we somehow don't get Asterios' NP this turn, then I'll use his defense up. But I swear, someone's gonna watch the VOD of this and be like, "See, the team's not consistent." It's not the team. It is very much how you play it, and it is possible. It is possible to have an outrageously bad, you know, first couple of turns and have things go south. But it's very unlikely. Like almost every fail I had here, we did have really bad RNG, but I also misplayed. You can beat that bad RNG by just playing properly. Okay, now I think we do this because we just that was a really fucking bad turn there because he gave us a bunch of defense downs and he did not give us any NP charge. And now he not only that, but he's also at that turn where he's really close to getting his NP. That was actually really fucking bad. This is definitely where I wish I had the debuff clear command code. I think we're still fine though because we have a lot of attack downs on him. So, well, actually, he just lost one of the attack downs. This is a little shaky here. Let me think. I guess Han's NP is the most important. That was a pretty shitty try. What did he? I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at chat. I don't know what he did. I think he did like he must have done Buster. Maybe he arted Ushi or something. I don't know what happened. Maybe quick charge. He definitely like Bustered and some shit. Okay, we're safe now. Oh yeah, we have a safety net. I forgot. Yeah, we're totally fine. We still got Geronimo back there and George. Yeah, we're totally fine. I forgot about that. Because honestly, Geronimo gives you the debuff resistance, which will start stacking up, and then it gives you the crit down and then the heal too and all that. So he can definitely clean up if you know, shit goes bad. I will say though, I do not like, wow, I actually think, am I gonna shit on Ushi this hard? I think you do Hans's buff success chance. Like, there's no reason to be greedy. There's just no reason to be greedy. Now, I will say Ushi NPing first does mean Hans's defense up can be bigger, but he could miss it, right? It's buff success chance versus potential higher defense up. I think if I wasn't streaming, I would do the buff success chance. But I kind of like doing it this route because some people won't have the buff success chance, and we have been scuffing Ushi really hard here. Gotta do damage at some point. Like, you actually can transition and just start focusing on Ushi damage if you want to, but there's no reason to. Just imagine though, every time you would do Asclepius' NP, you would get debuff immunity. Like, it's just so good here. And you get guts. You'd be getting guts, so that's such a... Like, that's so good, man. I need to try it though. I've never tried Asclepius here on the... I really can't though, because we didn't level up on Asterios. I need story replay. That'd be the best way. Cause I really do want to size him up. Because maybe I'm forgetting something, right? Like, you know, the best thing to do is actually get, you know... See, he does art crit. That's his most damaging thing, and it did 0 fucking damage. Rough, man. Let's see. Yeah, ultimately, Asterios MP gain is the most important. Also nice damage, Hans. Wow, when his art attack is doing that little, that's kind of sad. Fucking Christ, Guadia, though. I'm putting the quick card last because Asterios only needs a little bit of NP gain to get his NP, so there's no point in putting third place. Might as well give the quick the extra. When you're so good at healing, you become a god of it. I mean, yeah, it's true. Who would have known Asclepius would be a good support? Really, he kind of should have been a 5-star when you think about it. Like, he became a god of healing. Now, I know, again, we have so many major figures and powerful lore people and everything that are low stars, but it does kind of suck. Oh, we have invulnerability back. Shit. Honestly, if I had that last turn, I probably should have used it last turn, because last turn wasn't that shaky, but it was a little shaky because we lost our defense up, and we went 2 turns without Asterios getting his NP. So that would have been, in case Guadia just happened to art attack Asterios. What the? How did Asterios die there? Okay, well, clearly I should have done invulnerability then. I was sitting there saying that, you know, fuck. Let's see. Well, we're not necessarily dead. This is gonna be rough, though. So again, that's not the team. That was user error. I should have done invulnerability because there was... Asterios was getting, you know, a bit low because he got me kind of fucked up there. I just thought he was fine, but clearly not. Like, that is not the team. That was Green Boy. That being... Well, I gotta be clear. That was user error, but... This run was really unlucky. Like, we had that triple buster turn. He was attacking Asterios so much there. We had a lot of defense down. Like, that... We went so long without Asterios getting his NP there. You know, sitting there at 94%. Like, that was very bad luck. But it was not bad luck that we could not come back from. That was... I could have come back from that if I had played better. I think we might... We're not necessarily dead, though. We'll see. We actually would have won by now if Ushi had higher bond. Like, you normally don't have to live this long, but it's definitely possible that we can still run this back. We'll see. It's just gonna... I don't know... Like, if one person was gonna die, Asterios was not the one you wanted it to be. Literally, if Hans or Ushi had died, I wouldn't even care, right? Asterios dying is the only person that I give a shit. So, yeah, we'll see. I'd been feeling a lot more confident if Geronimo had gotten his NP right there, just because get the debuff resistance, get the extra heal. When do I use the invulnerability? Ushi gets her evade in 2 turns. She has no defense downs, though. I think I can wait 1 turn. Especially if Hans lands the defense buff. So yeah, it's funny. Ushi went from being very unimportant to somewhat important now because Asterios died. I have no idea what buffs landed. I think he missed pretty much everything on Geronimo, but he got the defense up on Ushi. I would like Geronimo to at least get 1 NP off. Okay, we're looking decent now. Theoretically, he can NP next turn. But I really want to save... Hold on. I really want to save... this is complicated. Okay, hold on. Because the thing is, the Nightmare, you might say, okay, you should do invulnerability now, and then use evade next turn. But there's a chance that he doesn't quick charge on either turn, and... this is... awkward. I mean, it's so unlikely that he NPs next turn, because he would have to not attack and double quick charge and then NP. Because if he attacks and double quick charges, he's out of actions. If he quick charges, attacks, then quick charges, again, he's out of actions. So I think it's overwhelmingly likely. I think what we do is we do this. Like, we care about Ushi that much that we get rid of the defense down, because she might actually be able to face tank it. If he did double quick charge. It's unlikely that he would double quick charge. And because again, even if you double quick charge, it has to be the first two actions. What is Geronimo's overcharge? I have no idea. So he has not done his upgraded NP. I think it's the debuff. Yeah, it's the debuff resistance. So yeah, we overcharge him then. That more debuff resistance is nice. It's the heal as well, but it's not a lot. It's fairly minor. But yeah, it matters. You know, it matters. But what I care about here is the debuff resistance. Man, I am so curious what it's like, though, to have Geronimo out a lot sooner, because the thing is, you'll be using Geronimo's NP often, and so your debuff resistance will be sky high. Because the debuff resistance lasts 3 turns, and you're probably going to NP on Geronimo at least once every 3 turns, and sometimes more than that, and you get the crit down. Like, I'm really curious how he holds up. I got so scared there. We're safe now, because even if he quick charges, it's fine. That was scary, though, when his first action was quick charge. I think we're fine. Honestly, I think we're stable enough that we'll be fine. The question is, what do I do with my, like, stuff here? We definitely do that. It's like, who do we give the third skill to? Who do we give the invulnerability to? Or do we not give anyone the invulnerability? We just save. I guess we just save Ushi. I could easily save everybody, but I mean, Ushi's gonna win really soon. There's no point. Like, just in case she doesn't get her NP this turn, like, she wins next NP, right? So just in case she doesn't get it this turn, I should give him vulnerability. There's no point in saving the other ones. Like, it sucks, but there's no point in saving them. I mean, I guess we still have St. George, so I mean, honestly, I don't think it's even possible that we lose. So this run went awful, and we're gonna win. So I'm very confident in this team, like, because again, the safety net made a big difference. Someone's gonna say this was a lucky run. I don't think so at all. Like, that beginning was awful. The difference would just be played well, and we had that spree where Stereos did NP for like 2 turns. That was really bad. You got stuck at 98% and 94%. I don't think this was a lucky run at all. I kind of want to do it again. I kind of want to test more, because now that I remember it properly and I'm doing the defense up like I'm supposed to and that kind of stuff, I kind of want to do it more times. But I think chat would kill me. But the thing is, we got this. Like, this went pretty bad, and we still got invulnerability. We got our NP. George has got guts. George is, you know, can clean up as well because he's actually got decent bond. I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted to beat Solomon today, but I don't know. I mean, we're gonna make the Guadia account, and I could just start leveling. I don't need to level any units on that account, but I could just level the units for this setup. And then I could just test it then, because then we have Guadia forever. So then if anyone has any doubt, I can obviously do it then. Because I would like to, I do want to start doing lost belts and stuff. And I really, this was not a good run. This just, I think you're crazy if you think this was a good run. The difference between this run and the other runs was not RNG going well. It was I played way better. And I didn't even play perfect. I still made mistakes. Because, you know, we absolutely could have kept the Stereos alive. Like, we should have given him the invulnerability. I guess we give this to her just in case we don't kill here, but we kill here. And we have the defense up, and George has guts, and all that good stuff. That is funny, though, that Ushi went from being the least important to the most important when Asterios died, but I just hope I expressed my thought process well enough that people that actually know the game, like, I think people that suck at this game won't be able to follow anything I said, and they're still going to say that the team is bad. But I think people that know the game can clearly see the team is fine, and you can clearly see, like, where I made changes and stuff. Yeah, the 0 art crit. I will say, I wasn't sure how big the safety net is such a difference. Like, having Matahari or Benkei or some other fuck that has skill seal, that's a huge help. Because overwhelmingly, Asterios is not going to be the first one to die. And he would not have died there if I had just given him invulnerability, right? Because he's got the defense up and you favor him so much, he is overwhelmingly not the one that's going to die. And if he does die, it's obviously good to have a safety net to finish up, right? But if, like, Hans dies, and by the time Hans dies, it being Geronimo instead is not that different. Like, because at that point, Asterios is still going to be NPing, and now you get the debuff resistance. It's fine, right? And if it's Asclepius, that's fine. That's actually probably better than Hans. You know, there's a lot of, you know, if you got some other support, you know, like Merlin or Waver or some shit, that's fine. You know, and then clearly the DPS doesn't matter. But just the option of the safety net is much better in case something goes wrong. And it helps because Hans doesn't have to be on the front row. That's something I had forgotten. Hans not being on the front row on turn 1 is good. Because you're giving Ushi evade, so it's fine that she's on the front row. You're giving Asterios evade or invulnerability, so it's fine that he's on the front row. Hans doesn't get anything, so you don't want him on the front row because he might die. He might get double arted by Guadia or something, right? So Hans not being there on turn 1 is a good thing, right? Honestly, you probably, even if you do it like the way I was doing it before, well, no, the way you do it before, you have to have the units just sit there to die. So yeah, then he has to be on the front row. So yeah, no, having skill seal is just way better. It's just way better. All right, so I'm not gonna wrap up yet, Rex, because then Ushi would still be dead, and then off stream, you know, let's say I don't stream tomorrow, you know, I still wouldn't have Mash. I want Mash back. So, Rex, you're a Mash fan. You're sitting here rooting for Mash to stay dead, right? We can't have that shit. So, you know what I'm going to do here, chat? This is not a particularly... Okay, I'm going to do this unless chat really doesn't want me to. I want to solo this with Ku, because Ku's been buffed. So I want to see, you know, how that goes. I kind of want to be disgusting. I kind of want to give him the Yang CE and a burn thing and his buff. I kind of want to do that. I want to be like that's disgusting, because Guadia will take the bonus damage from the Yang CE, right? Although the only downside is my Yang CE on my main account is trash. Like, I haven't leveled it and stuff. But I kind of want to go really ham on this, because I've beaten this boss many times on, you know, like the 1 to 3. I did it on the 1 to 3 star account with 1 to 3 star CEs. I got nothing to prove, and I love this fight with Ku, and I haven't done it in a long time. And I would love to see how Ku does with this buff. Because, I mean, come on. I mean, Ku's my favorite. So, let me... What? Did I even level the Yang CE? I think I didn't. Oh, God. Let me think. I've actually never done this before. So I'm trying to think what I want to do with the command codes to enable it. Because you want to basically pick a card that you use every 3 turns. Maybe one of his busters. I feel like you're going to use at least 1 buster every 3 turns. God, I keep clicking the... I will never... No matter how much I try to train myself, I will never click the command code menu first. I always click command card. It's... God... Hell, I want to say when I did this the first time, I don't think command codes even existed, did they? I'm not sure. There's a lot of burn CEs to pick from. I think there's 3 burn CEs. I guess I want to give Ku like a crit up one, but maybe we just go with the double burn, just to make sure we keep it up. Oh, okay, this is... Dude, the sleep deprivation is getting to me. This is not Ku, this is Canis that I'm giving command codes to right now. That's the wrong Lancer. There we go. I think just 1 burn is fine. I don't think we need both. Dude, I can't stand this fucking command card menu because now I'm constantly having to go to other servants to unequip what they have. I mean, it's just stupid. I cannot believe you can't just yoink it from the one servant to the other like you can with CEs. I cannot believe that you did not think of that. Like, that's just insane. Like, that is such an obvious thing to do. I'm sure Canis can solo this too. I will say it would be harder for her because the debuffs, she has a hard. You just give her the debuff clear command code. If you give her the debuff clear command code, you're probably good. But that would make it harder for her because the one way you lose this is you just get sent into the Shadow Realm with the amount of debuffs that you get. But I think if you use Atlas, you can clear some. You give her the debuff clear command code. She could probably get through it, but I do think it would be a little bit harder for her. But I'd say her win rate is probably over 50%. Like, I don't think it'd be like a shitty win rate or anything. So I don't normally give Q the Merlin thing, like just the timing doesn't work out, but I'm gonna try it here just cause. I don't know though, maybe we give him the debuff clear. Like, NP gain's not, it's nice, but it's not that important. Oh god, dude, this is taking so long because dude, this is so frustrating. I'm not exaggerating, every single command code that I wanted to put on Ku has been equipped to someone else. So every single fucking time, I can't just, I have to close it and go back in and then go back in again to give it to, like, this is ridiculous. I just cannot believe that they did not fucking change this UI. Like, this is taking minutes. It takes minutes. Now, I will say it's a bit slower because I'm streaming, and, like, I gotta tell you, man, with this sleep apnea thing, I feel it so hard. When I'm trying to talk, it is so hard to do what I'm trying to do, like, with my motor skills. It's super fucking hard. But it's hard anyway. Like, even if it wasn't for the sleep apnea and my lack of sleep and everything, trying to talk and pick out command codes is a fucking pain in the ass. Okay. That took so long. I will say though, if I wasn't streaming and I wasn't sleepy and I was just sitting there looking at the command codes, that wouldn't take as long, but it would still take fucking forever. Like, it's stupid. Oh yeah, starting NP is not a thing here, so it's totally meta that we're going this route. I've actually beaten this before with Ku, and I did not bring Atlas because he just had so much anti-debuff I didn't need it, but I'd say overall it's safer to bring Atlas. You'll fix it next anniversary. I hope they fix it before that. There's no way they haven't been bombed with tweets and shit complaining about this. Like, it's such an... anyone that plays the game seriously is going to notice this immediately. Like, it's such a problem. They're just lazy. I really just think they're lazy. Now, I will give them a defense. If they're not being paid well by Aniplex, they should be lazy. Like, just straight up, they should be lazy. But, I mean, they're just so... Like, no developer should take this long to fix it. And when they do fix it, it's probably not even going to be that good of a fix and stuff. Like, it's just... It's crazy, man. It's just overhauling a UI. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like it's a super complicated... Because some UIs are complicated, but this is not one. Like, it's not. Nice opening hand. Wait, you know what? The burn damage might not work here because doesn't his gimmick... I think it specifically nullifies, like, bonus damage. Like, Origin Bullet actually doesn't work here. I need to look this up because I'm not sure. I know, like, the picture still pops up, but I know Origin Bullet does not work, like the bonus damage. I would not be surprised if the bonus to burn doesn't actually work. Let me look. Yeah, I tested it with Origin Bullet. It does not work. It shows the icon popping up, but you're not actually doing bonus damage. Origin Bullet is still good because of the Piercing vulnerability, but it's not that good. Because yeah, his gimmick is like it like nullifies special damage or something like that. I'm not sure. It might be just class specific, and that's because you know, Origin Bullet is class specific, but. Let me see. They may not have. The only way to really test this is like looking at the damage both ways. Because although I'm very familiar with Ku's damage, I'm not familiar with Ku's damage when he doesn't have. When he's using such a weak CE, right? Our attack stat's a lot lower than normal. We don't have the 15% from Golden Sumo, that kind of thing. All right, let's see. It takes 1.0 pretty much from all class. They don't really say. It's what the wiki says is he works like a caster in terms, you know, riders take less damage from him and all that kind of stuff. But his damage taken is just 1.0 from all classes. And like I said, I'm pretty sure Origin Bullet does not work. And so let me look. I'll be able to tell decently well off of like our NP and stuff. Because we're at neutral, right? So we're not supposed to be doing counterclass damage. I think that's working. I'm pretty sure that's working. I don't think I would do a buster for that much at neutral. It's wonky though because, like I said, normally we would have Golden Sumo, which is, you know, 15% attack and then the higher attack stat. Yeah, trait stuff still works. Is this a turn where I'd want to get rid of the skill seal? Don't think so. Yeah, nah. Yeah, I think that's working. That I'm pretty sure that's working. I can actually look at something though. Hold on, let me. Oops, I just skipped the song. We can bust out. We got a history here. Let me basically just find a Ku Buster card. Okay, this is in third place though, 13k. It probably works because that's first place versus third place, and it's like the same. So that tells me that this one, you know, Origin Bullet's not working, and the Yang one probably was. But let me find a Buster in first place. Okay, here we go. I need to just go Buster something that with like roughly the same attack stat and everything. Because that's lower, but we don't have like the card system, the command card system. So they're basically doing the same damage. So either they're both working or they're both not working. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, chat, is I'm gonna bring up my regular phone, and I'm gonna go start a stage here, and I'm just gonna Buster something without burn with the same CE on. What's Guadia's alignment? We gotta get scientific here. Human Guadia, I'm guessing it's because it can't be. I don't think it's beast anymore. Or his not his alignment. Excuse me, his attribute. I have no idea what his attribute is because this version of him doesn't have a page. Because it's listed on his, because they put both of his forms on the same wiki page, and so the parts that like make a difference between the two versions isn't the opening part. So that's actually kind of wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's still beast. I mean, it's such a minor difference it shouldn't. it shouldn't be like that big of a deal. The problem is I need to get his Buster card that doesn't have the burn on it. Well, I'll fight a caster enemy because yeah, it's at least the same class and everything, so. Actually, I should just not bring the Yang CE. I should just bring another CE that has a comparable attack stat, which I have several of. Actually, I think I have something that's the exact same level as it. Yep, I have a CE that's exactly the same. So it's the exact same attack stat. Okay. Yeah, he has the in-game profile, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, it may just be the regular Solomon. Alright, good, I got Buster on turn 1. Oh yeah, it's working. It did way less damage. It did like 7.5k. So that's definitely working. Again, there's alignment bullshit, right? There's still like a lot of alignment bullshit and stuff, so it works. And that tells me that I think Origin Bullet works too. It's like I'm wrong on that. Okay, good to know. Alright, what the hell is going on? Let's see. I don't think this is actually a good time to cast Guts, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I feel like I can be greedy here. It's also a terrible time to remove debuffs, but again, I'm being greedy because I think I can get away with it. Oh yeah, the bond bonus. Oh, what is wrong with me? You're right. Actually, it's not working then. Yeah, yeah, of course. What am I thinking? That's what fucked me up before. I've had this has happened before. I've thought this before. Dude, fucking memory, dude. I've literally had this before. I know, as soon as I thought about it, I remember thinking before, I was like, oh yeah, see, Origin Bullet's doing more damage because Q's doing more damage than normal. And I was like, wait, no, that's the bond bonus. Yeah, no, it's not working. Cause yeah, yeah, it's definitely not working. That's all bond bonus. Yeah, it's not only does Origin Bullet not work, that means the Yang one's not working either. There's no way we're getting the Yang bonus there. Cause there's no way the alignment and stuff, cause we're doing about, let me do another Buster card, cause that was just the one. You got the high-low roll system. Let me get his other one. Cause yeah, we're doing about 13k. If Buster's first, we're doing about 13k. Yeah, I think Guadia just does not. That's a really specific gimmick, though. I would love to know what this says right here, what this says, because that's what causes it. Okay, we got Q's other Buster card. We'll put in first place. Dude, he did 6k. Yeah. It's the bond bonus. Yeah, if it's doing 6k, yeah, we are absolutely not getting. We're not even getting the Yang bonus. That's sad, man. That's sad. That means the CE's not good here at all. Like, I guess the Piercing Vulnerability is okay, but it's not. There's no way that's worth it. Like, the Piercing Vulnerability is nice, but sometimes Guadia doesn't even cast the Invulnerability, for God's sakes. So, and then that means our command codes are wrong. So a lot is wrong here. Like a lot is off. I think we should do this. Just get greedy. Get the NP ASAP. I mean, we might have gotten it anyway, but. So I guess what you should bring then is decapitate. No. Decapitating Bunny is sure hit. But yeah, I guess you just bring Golden Sumo or something. Jesus Christ, he just procced Guts. That's because he fucking, we procced so many defense downs last turn. That's fucked. Like, honestly, if we had died next turn, it would have been fine, but dying that turn is pretty rough. I'm not sure we're out of it yet, but, that's bad. That's bad, especially because, the Yang CE doesn't work, so... I'm really surprised that doesn't work though. I would have thought, like, I wasn't too surprised that Origin Bullet didn't work because, you know, it's kind of like the class advantage thing. But I'm really surprised the Yang one doesn't work. Oh, for fuck's sake, she didn't even attack. Let me think. We just need to live one more turn, then we get Guts. So we just do Invulnerability. I was thinking about just healing, and that'd probably be safe, but I think we just do Invulnerability. Well, we get... Oh my god. Ooh, boy. That was so meta of him, but it wasn't enough. That was like such a good turn on his part, but it was not enough. I think he's fucked now. Because we do have Piercing Vulnerability, so it's nice. Do I try to kill this turn? I probably do. I think we do try to kill this turn. I mean, he's going to be scripted if he gets really low to, you know, kill himself. So he won't be able to do buff removal or anything, but I should have switched these command codes around. I don't know why. Like the two Buster ones, they should be the other way around. I don't know why I did it like that. I really hope we win here because this was such a bad run and I misplayed, and I'm pretty sure our CE is very wrong. Oh yeah, we won anyway. Feels good. And I don't think we would have died there. He would have, you know, he would have quick charged, gone to 0 health, procced Guts. Guts cancels his turn. That's what I was saying. He can't do the buff removal. His first action has to be the charge, and then he has to NP, and then Guts goes off, so his turn gets canceled, and then we would kill him next turn. So we won pretty hard there. But that was nice. We just won with absolutely horrible RNG, and we our CE was pretty shit. What's the best CE there, then? It's either just damage, if you have a CE that gives you enough damage that it makes up for the one turn of invulnerability, or you bring something that's got Pierce Invulnerability that's just better. Like that Buster Up one. Like seriously, the Buster Up Pierce Invulnerability would have been better. Because all the Yang stuff was pointless there. I'm really glad we just scienced that though, because yeah, definitely Origin Bullet is not working, and Yang CE is not working because of the bond bonus. I'm so glad someone said that, because literally, I think only Zaw caught that in chat. No one else caught that, and I wasn't even thinking of that. And so we would have just gone by thinking we got it right, but we got it super fucking wrong. Yeah, Black Grail could be good too. Black Grail could be good too. But Black Grail is so much damage that it probably would... Black Grail would not be worth it if it wasn't for the NP drain. But because you can't have starting NP anyway, a Black Grail would probably be worth it, because that probably buys you more time than you lose from the invulnerability. But yeah, like, I don't think Black Grail would actually be better than Golden Sumo there if you kept the starting NP. Because getting that NP sooner is one more NP in the run, and that 15% still helps the NP, and it also, you know, makes all your attacks do more damage, makes your extra attack do more damage. So I don't think it would beat out Golden Sumo there otherwise. But yeah, because you have no starting NP, yeah, mash back. Dude, I love that picture from back in the day, that when this first came out, the edited in waiver right there, that was so good. Because that back then, you know, you didn't have, like, Merlin had just come out, but no one really used him yet. You know, waiver was the meta. Everyone used waiver for everything all the time, right? No matter what the team style was. I loved that so much. All right, we were without Mash for quite a while there. That was rough. I am so glad Ku just won that though, because that RNG was so shit. We got the buff removal like the worst time ever. We got that massive defense down spree, then he killed it. Like, even with that defense down spree, we easily could have like not died that one turn and had one more turn, but you know, we did die. And then we found out our CE was trash mid run, so that was a thing. I love how you get like that shitty rank in the Mage Association. That's funny. Alright, now we can do challenge quests and shit again, so that's good. So, chat wanted me to do the Epic of Remnant first, And I agree that doing Epic of Remnant first is more fun because everyone's seen, you know, the Lost Belts on an A, and we were doing the Lost Belts first on the 1 to 3 star account. But I think I kind of need to do the Lost Belts first because I really like this account. You know, the 1 to 3 star account, I just, you know, I play whenever, right? Yeah, see, this is regular Guadia. I don't think it's for his other form. See, I don't know what the fuck his thing is. Anyway, I think this is just regular Solomon. I don't think this is not human Guadia. Yeah, this is just regular Solomon, so it's still not it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I feel like, you know, there's gonna be like, you know, an event or something that's gonna be Lost Belt locked, right? So it'd be nice to at least get a few Lost Belts done. Yeah, I know. It'd be cool to do Shimosa, because Shimosa, okay, whatever Lost Belt you do last is going to be the easiest, because you're going to be the most prepared, right? That's just how it, whatever, well, not necessarily, because the different, I'm sorry, I'm so, Epic of Remnant, the different Epic of Remnants, they're going to be disproportionately easier the later you do them. Shimosa's the hardest one, you know, like out of all of them, Shimosa's the hardest one, but if you do it last, it's going to be easier. Right? If you do Shimosa first, that's making it like the hardest it can be. Right? If Shimosa is ever gonna give us trouble, it would be now. So I don't know, it's like I really should get on with Epic of Remnants, just, I mean, God, with Lost Belts, because Epic of Remnants are not required for anything. They're not required for anything. But it would be really cool doing Shimosa right away, because it's gonna make it peak difficulty. So maybe we do Shimosa first, and then we do Lost Belts. How about that? Because I don't think anyone can. Let's be real. When people are like, "Oh man, you're gonna have a hard time with Epic of Remnant," they just mean Shimosa. Like, let's be real. So maybe yeah, we do Shimosa, and besides, then we get to upgrade Fuma, and that's cool. I've been wanting to level him anyway. Because yeah, Raiko and shooting's gonna be hard. The assassin is gonna be a nightmare. You know, you got Amakusa and all that. Yeah, Salem's pretty easy. There's one fight in Salem that can be a bit tricky, but actually, I mean, Abigail herself can be pretty tough, honestly. I think the final fight with Abigail is pretty tough, especially for a newer account. That's pretty tough, and we don't have Mecha Liz, right? Like normally you have Mecha Liz for that fight because that event Halloween came out like right before it, so pretty much everyone had it. But this account doesn't, so I think Salem would be pretty tough, honestly. I think the end would be. But yeah, Shimosa is definitely going to be a hardest. So yeah, I think we do Shimosa, then we go through the Lost Belts, at least up to a few Lost Belts, because, you know, the events, sometimes they're just Lost Belt 1 locked, and sometimes it's Lost Belt 3, and blah, 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 blah. I don't want to rush Zeus, I'll say that. Nothing will get me to rush Zeus. I love that fight way too much. If there's an event, I'm telling you, they might add an event that's got an awesome welfare, and I'd love it for this account. I'm not going to blow by Lost Belt 5. I'm just not going to do it. I care more about Lost Belt 5 than like any random thing they add like that. And I can at least get it on my main account, and it's fine, right? So even if this account has to miss out on something super cool from an event, a great command code, or a free grail, whatever, I'm not going to rush and blow by Lost Belt 5. I just don't want to do that. It's not worth it. Like, because you can't summon friends, right? You can't summon friends for Zeus, and thank goodness. I think that makes that fight special. Like, that's a fight that you really should have to do with your own units and everything. I think that's awesome. And I want to have peak Hercules versus Daddy, right? And you can get his upgrade from being Lost Belt 5-1. You don't have to be Lost Belt 5-2. So we can have peak Hercules. But so I won't fight Zeus until we have peak Hercules. But then I also want to do with other setups. I don't want to just use Zeus, right? So yeah, I know I streamed a bit longer than I had intended. But yeah, we are not rushing Zeus. I'll rush the other Lost Belts if I feel like it, but there's no world where I rush. I don't really want to rush Lost Belt 3 either, because Lost Belt 3 is a good one too, right? That's, you know, it's tough, right? It's got some good boss fights and stuff, and I'd like to have fun with that one as well. So, but the Lost Belt 1 and 2, I don't give a fuck about. Like, seriously, I don't give a fuck about those two at all. So blowing through the hills is nothing. Before we wrap up, let me check something here. I think it might be lying to me. I might not actually have a free FP summon. It says I do, but sometimes it lies to you because this game. Yep, that took my FP. Okay, well, fuck you, game. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. That was a lot slower than I had intended, but I really enjoyed, honestly, ironing out that team again, remembering, like, how the fuck to play it. The big thing is, oh my god, cast Asterios is defensive on turn 2. That's the big takeaway from this stream. I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow because I feel kind of crappy right now because like I still am having breathing problems from sleeping and all that. But if I feel well enough, I'll absolutely stream tomorrow. I'm totally game for doing Shimosa and everything else. We're not ready though. Oh god, we're not ready. Oh god, chat. We were supposed to get like Castaku ready for Shimosa or like Medusa, and we just leveled Geronimo. Oh god. Oh god, what have I done? Thank God I'm not handicapping this account though, and I'm allowed to like I can bring K-Scope or I can summon strong units or whatever, although that doesn't really help you in Shimosa, but I just leveled Geronimo. That's not ideal for the battles that are to come. That was not the smartest thing about it. I don't know, chat, maybe we do put Shimosa off. I'm scared now. Because I need to level, like, fuck, I need to level units that are good for Raiko and Shootin', right? Because that's a toughie if you don't have the right unit, so I need to level a unit or two for that, and I'm definitely going to need to level a unit or two for the assassin fight. I don't think I need to level anything from Akusa though. I think we've got what we need. I think Hercules got our back on that one, and George. But yeah, we're not prepped for Shimosa. We really aren't, but we are prepped for a lot of the other stuff. So we'll see. I'll think about it. I would like to do Shimosa first though because that would be tough. I just think it's going to force us. It's going to force me to go farm, basically, because I'm kind of behind on that department. Anyway, chat, I'm about to collapse from exhaustion. You all have a good one. Wait. We're supposed to raid people. That's a thing. What do we got? Oh, we got Slice. We don't get to raid him very often because we don't normally stream that late. Yeah, we'll raid Slice. Alright boys, you have a good one. Hopefully I'll stream tomorrow, but I can't guarantee it. But I'll definitely try. If I feel well, I'll definitely do it. But thanks for hanging out. Also, I am going to play Epic 7 soon. I really want to play some of the new story in that. I know some people hate Epic 7, but I really want to do that. But, yep, peace out.